It's a wet, soggy day outside today. That's for sure. Hi guys, Elamir, meet everybody. It's a little early, but it's not by that much. Um, Today, of course, is wet, soggy. Tomorrow, we're going to have snowflakes in northern Connecticut and most of northern New England. So, need I say, yeah, we thought we were done with winter. Actually, it's early spring. I digress. Anyway, we had a good show last night. We did a lot of reach out. We got a lot of new people visiting, and we had over 240 views in less than 24 hours. And I wouldn't say I broke a record, but I certainly did exceed expectations, which was great for last night. And just going to go ahead and get the piano ready for the staff to come on. And because the reason why you don't have the public panel up as much anymore is because it gets a little unyieldy. Anyway, the other thing is that I'm going to be working on in the very near future is getting the chat on the screen. Oh, yeah. Okay. So pop out the chat so I can see it. Yeah, I know I forgot something. Anyway, so the point is that I'm really looking forward to the things that are going on in the future. We got the laptop here now. We're getting OBS configured on it. There's a question about routing sound and the most efficient way to do it. There's a program I downloaded from the past called Audio Hijack, which is designed to let you do what it sounds like, or you can route sound from one place to another. Fairly simple. Because OBS seems like, unlike the desktop on this Mac, that one doesn't seem to have a desktop specific slider tool, whereas this one does. But then on this system, we on the desktop we send everything to an external mixing panel on that Mac because we want it to be portable. We don't want to send audio to a mixing board because that'd be another piece of gear to look around the shop. And I really don't feel like having. It's going to be bad enough when I'm doing the porch shots and having to set up the lights and yeah, no, it's just a lot of extra stuff. I really just want to keep it simple. So that's why we invested in a laptop and not a desktop, so that I could have something that I can take with me. I only paid $215 for it, which is fine for what it is. It's not quite as sluggish as you'd think for an Intel Core 2 Duo machine. I mean, OBS runs on it. I haven't tried streaming on it yet, but I can tell you from the preview mode that it looks like it'll be fine doing 1280 by 720p. So I don't see a problem there. It's going to be conveniently easy to carry. Just place it into one of my green bags or into a laptop laptop bag, whichever one you want, and you'll set to go. So it makes things easier when you can just take it with you and maybe just carry the charger, maybe an extension lead here and there. I don't really think I'm going to need to be lugging lots of extension leads. But yeah, at least you have the option, right? Yeah, you can lug a laptop, lug a charger, power brick. I remember for a while when Apple, 65-watt chargers like that. They were designing the chargers in such a way that they come with a little slide-in power prongs, so the thing literally could stick out of the wall instead of the cord. I don't know why they did that originally. Mine doesn't have that. Mine has the cord. Apparently, you could get the one with the cord with the prongs that just stick right out of the brick. Or actually, it's a slide-in adapter. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to go through that much aggravation. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, silly. Keep it simple. So yes, how you doing? So yes, says here, Blazing Leo, how you doing? Panel's open. I already put the link up in the Discord if you want to join it when you're free. It's the link I just posted this morning. It's the same link as last night. So if you bookmarked last night's link, you can come right onto the panel. And so I was just, just pointing out that the OBS, the chat screen on the laptop should be working. I have to find that out. I haven't tried that out yet. I just basically copied the link for the existing one into that OBS program. And I tested it, and the dashboard works. The animation comes up and everything, so that's a start. I don't have OBS up as fancy as I do in this one because obviously it's not going to be as many things. But then I want to be able to plug in this tool, plug right in on the side here. This camera will plug right in. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, this camera here will plug right into that laptop. So you'll be able to put this far away enough so you can still see me from a distance. And the built-in webcam works too. So that's two things, two cameras. Oh yeah, I could bring this one outside too. But I remember my laptop only has 2 USB ports. So I don't want to go nuts with USB ports. Plugging in tons of extras and hubs and things like that. Remember, the idea is keep it light, keep it simple, keep it easy to manage, quick to set up. Definitely want to get the panel working now. I haven't tried the wired Ethernet connection yet. I guess that'll be the next thing to plug in is the cord for the Ethernet, but the Wi-Fi works. Remember, as I said, you're not going to be want to lug a ton of cords when you're out in the field. If you're at the park, or if you're, making dinner, or you just want to set the laptop in the kitchen, maybe you're showing somebody how you're making, your taco salad or whatever. You don't want to go through and have an impressively complicated setup with lots of funky plugs and stuff like that. I don't know if Blazing Leo got the message. Let me send her the link if she didn't get it already. So right now we're looking at the chat group. Okay. We are live and using the same Google. Oh God. Google Meets link as last night. If you want to join in. Alright. So just let them know in Discord so they can come on. What pop? And he's just giving you a reading. Seems like it's pretty spot on from. Yeah. Considering combination cable lock for laptops or other devices. Okay, someone wants to come on the panel. Let's get them on. It's Monica or Leo. How you doing?
Morning.
Yeah.
Morning.
So anyway, I was just I was reviewing the stream from last night to see how the sound came out, and I noticed that the computer somehow the main volume got nudged up a bit. It didn't sound too bad in the video, but I noticed it. It was like a little bit set to Megadeth. I was like, oh my god. I was like, well, what causes the master volume to get nudged up? And it wasn't by me, but no problem, because you were blowing my ears in last night.
I was. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I don't know. I don't know why because I mean, I don't have like anything special. I just use earphones with the mic.
Yeah. I know. And your phone is like a lot of phones. You can't really have any control over what the manufacturer decided was loud enough.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was hearing an echo too, so I even turned down like my volume.
Right, you turn on your volume knob, yeah. Well, the echo was caused by you, honey. Your own microphone picked you up.
Yeah. Well, after I turned it down, it seemed to disappear.
Right.
But.
And when your microphone picked up, you're talking through the speakers after you talked. That's why.
Oh, okay.
So, anyway, so we had 240 viewers last night.
Yeah, I think that was from Carlos.
Yeah. Well, I hope he comes, brings a few more people on the show. I'm looking forward to seeing more people. Hope Skynet, who is on the panel, is Leo. Blazing Leo's on the panel. She just came on.
Hey, Skynet.
Yeah, she said hi to you. So anyway, right now for the laptop, I'm trying to set up a software mixer instead of a hardware mixer using I'm going to try a program called Audio Hijack, which is something for the Mac. The problem is I noticed a lot of software on the computer scene, of course, is shareware or demoware. And trying to find something that's freeware is very hard to find. He says, tell Leo I said hi. Okay. So
I got the message.
I know you guys are going to ask me this. Somebody's going to ask me, when are you going to wash this dress? Probably when it's not raining. It's cold. It's wet. And you can see that in the background there. You can see the wet roads. It's going to snow tomorrow in my part of Connecticut. I'm like,
oh, well, a friend of mine, she lives in Michigan, and she woke up to snow this morning.
Yeah.
But she must live more north because we didn't have snow. We just had rain.
Yeah, well, now we're getting the rain today, and we're going to get the snow tomorrow. 8 to 12 inches. But then the next day after that, it's going to be like about 14 degrees Celsius. It's going to be like warm enough that it's going to be all gone. Like the next day, Sunday is going to be pretty nice, about 14 to 16. So I'm going to be trying to do some videos on the porch soon. Right now, it looks like OBS is ready to go to with YouTube. We do now with YouTube, so it should be fine. I didn't notice any serious like lagginess or dropped frames or anything, so that was a good start. But I didn't actually try streaming. I was just testing it by moving around and OBS, and it was working. So that's my method for washing. We're in clothes repealing. You mean for the smell of sweat? Yeah. Well, I mean, most of the time it doesn't smell like sweat. It's just starting to get a little grimy. I gotta wash this dress. The reason I didn't wash the dress yet was, remember the situation with the bleach water. I hope to God we don't have that problem anymore. So I use Purex with Clorox too, and And of course, lately I only washed whites in the towel. The towel did not turn white, so maybe we ameliorated the problem. But the thing with the towel was it was already kind of getting kind of old anyway, but it wasn't being bleached out, so that was good.
He prefers a cleanly woman. I would hope that most people prefer their women, well, and men to be clean.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly, that's why I take a bath in summertime at least 2 or 3 times a week.
My ex-husband, he would only shower like once a week, but he never smelled.
Right. Well, in the summertime, I get a little bit gamey. Because I don't handle heat very well. Because I'm first of all, I'm an allergic person, and the second reason is when you're already sweating because it's hot and humid and sticky. Yeah, I can get kind of nasty. So it's just best to clean. Well, that's fine if you got the money for the water and the gas. I like to conserve when I can.
Oh, twice a day? Are you a sweater?
Oh yeah, if you got a bad sweat problem, yeah, you're gonna do that.
I don't know if well, I would take like double showers, like if it was really hot or I did a lot of work or something that day.
Right.
But generally, I would just do once a day.
Well, usually, like I can get away with once a week in the winter, and I usually take a shower or bath about 2 to 3 times a week in the summer, depending on how hot it is, how sticky it is. Um, because when I start feeling grimy, then I know it's definitely time. You know, when I'm sweat's pouring on my skull, I know I'm not going to smell too nice. So
Yeah, that's if my hair, because I have a lot of hair. So if it gets like, you get your natural oils. But if my
yeah,
hair like starts to look or feel greasy, then I feel just disgusting. I gotta
right,
take a
yeah,
shower.
exactly, yeah. Well, I don't got a ton of hair. I mean, my hair is fine, but yes, I usually do brush my hair down gently at least twice, 3 times a day to properly spread the hair oils out so that the hair can get conditioned from root to tips. But still, enough is enough. When you start getting so much oil in your hair that you can't spread it any further, it's time.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. Well, you got the issue with Jack. I won't say it here. Never mind. Okay. Anyway, so I I'm really looking forward to continue to see the night shows grow. The morning shows have been doing pretty good for what they are. I haven't seen any morning shows that have been really counterproductive. I think we reached a lot of good things last night too, but the morning shows is when we kind of cover more of the pressing or the more sincere. I want to bring some of that into the night shows too, because like I explained, the reason why we have two shows is the morning shows is great for the people in Europe. They can come in, it's their afternoon, it's not too late for them. Most of them have probably gotten out of work, and they're probably enjoying the early or the mid afternoons, early evenings, and then the 7 o'clock show for us is our evenings and mid afternoons for 4 o'clock in California and 7 o'clock on the East Coast. And I think Hawaii's 4 hours behind us. So for Hawaii, that means that's their 3 o'clock. So that takes care of 2 times. I mean, almost two parts of the world did two shows.
That's true.
This show is too early for West Coasters, though. So the night show is better for me right now. Exactly. That's why we have two shows. Whereas for the people in the UK, the night shows are so late that most of them are already trying to get ready to go to bed for the next day. So that's why the morning shows were good for them because that's their afternoon. Um, I try to find a schedule that works for me and works for the audience. Yeah. Makes sense to me. Makes sense to me, right? Yeah, because you got the two shows. Of course, it doesn't hurt for those in Australia and New Zealand either. Now, Australia and New Zealand, they benefit too because they can watch either show and they can still reach out to the audience on their time zones because it's their next day. And so, like, the 7 o'clock in the morning is like 5 or something in the evening for them. I mean, the 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry. I don't know what time it is right now in Australia, but it's from what Vinny told me. He actually, he said it was on the morning show. It was like in the 10 a.m. show. He said it was like 5 or 6 in the afternoon the next day. So yeah, got a lot of good stuff planned. So,
What do you got planned for today?
well, because it's raining outside, I want to try to work on the sound on the laptop, but I'll have to work on it in the kitchen because it's still the other table that's still in the house.
What do you mean the sound? It doesn't have a built-in mic, or?
In other words, like when I have my microphone on and my headset on, I still want OBS to record the sound from Google Meets along with my microphone. And so that you can still hear me, I can still hear you, and the audience, of course, can hear us both.
Oh, it doesn't automatically do that?
I have no idea because
yeah, I have no clue either.
I don't want to kind of get on the show, do a live panel, and find out the audience complaining, going, we can't hear Blaze and Leo talking. I'm like, oh.
Oh, that's right, because you never mind. I see what you're saying.
Right. It's because all your sound goes through to my headphones, but not necessarily go out to OBS.
Right, okay. I'm tired today. I don't know if I slept too hard or didn't sleep enough last night. But I do know I was watching.
I think it's the weather. I think it's
that music biz Marty, man. He had a heck of a show last night. Let me tell you.
Oh, what was he doing on his show last night?
Well, it's generally about Cyrex, so I mean they kind of outed him on some more nasty stuff. Yeah.
As I said before, I don't really know enough about Cyrex, honestly, to really say much about the guy.
Yeah, well, I'm learning. I'm learning.
But I do know some people have a love-hate relationship with him.
Well, yeah, he's definitely entertaining to watch. That's for sure, because he does have, it's weird because, I'm no doctor by any means or anything, but I do like to kind of figure people out. And he does have some like delusional, like paranoia thing going on.
Yeah. But then he has also a lot of physical issues too.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is because I think he was born premature. So, he's got side effects from that. And
so what's that from being premature?
Well, he was, yeah, I don't know how, I have a nephew that when he was born at like 5 months old,
Oh, okay.
But, and he survived, but he's very underdeveloped, he's tiny for his age. He's had issues all his life with learning, so I don't know how premature Cyrex was born, but he's definitely got issues.
Well, I know I was born. I know I was born about 3 weeks early.
I'll say that's
by my own decision. I kicked so hard I broke my mom's water, and I was born. I didn't want to be a Pisces. Technically,
Oh, you didn't see it last night, Skynet? Oh my god.
uh,
Well, him and his girlfriend broke up because apparently he's been cheating on her for a while. And I guess she just sent last night she ended up sending Marty a video of Cyrix um inserting the pen that he tried to commit suicide with into his anus.
oh my,
Yeah, and he's messed up, Michelle.
seriously, Cyrix, that's a stupid way to do it.
I mean, that's because I've been talking to Schmeckel, a little bit more offline, rather than just on panel. And, I've been questioning him about it. I'm like, man, you know what? I don't get this, like, I'm not going to say obsession, but like when they go live, they do panels on them almost every night. And I'm like, I just don't get it. And the more and more I watch it, I understand it more and more.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I want to try to get also going on is get some more videos and vlogs and bcasts, and because I think like I said before, especially for the weekends, because the reason is that those videos tend to be able to go into more details of different topics. Um, for example, like I could do a video on this laptop. I could easily once I get it working, I could diagram something in a diagram program like presentation, from Apple iLife or iWork that could show a diagram of setups and things, and then I could present those as part of the video, explaining things like circuits and how we're doing things with connections and all that. But I can't really do that in a live show because the live shows are like we don't really have that kind of pre-planning where I can go out and say have the drawings already done and say, and I will show you exhibit number 1 here of the sound system inputs, output stage network, blah 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 blah. Sure, there's people that do that. I mean, they do good, but I'm not me. Um, but I do try to also, of course, when the phone calls come in and the live chats, I don't really have the ability to do that, you know, and not get lost in the order. Michelle, would you consider? No,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
even use a suppository for preparation H. Oh, for God's sakes. But yeah. So anyway, like I said, the idea is I'm gonna work on the laptop in the kitchen. I still need to get used to that trackpad. I'm not quite totally familiar with it yet. So kind of use it like a one button mouse, as I tend to do is to right click, I hold down control and I press click because that's the one thing I'm familiar with. Scrolling up and down pages at a time is still new to me. So then I do the shift up and down arrows because that's what I'm familiar with. On older Macs that just have a regular one button mouse. Um, so of course I do have a wireless mouse. I could throw that in my goodie bag. But then again, you start getting into the issue of, gee, you only got 2 USB ports on the thing. So, and I thought the idea was to have it be as portable as possible so you don't have to lug all those extra ancillary extras. And it's like, yeah, um, so it's a little bit of a challenge to find the right sweet spot. Because when I do shows on the boards, I can plug in the external light fixtures, my portable studio lights, my 2 soft boxes, and so at least you can be well illuminated. I can even carry the green screen out on the porch too. You know, So what do you think? What we're talking about as far as portable computers for videos?
Well, I mean, you know a heck of a lot more than I know. So,
Well, let's put it this way. Let's pretend you're going camping with your family, and you happen to want to do videos, not necessarily live stream, but you want to do a video, maybe a vlog, and you want to do something a little more complicated than just using your phone. So you're working on you say, okay, I want to be able to use my laptop. And idea is you want to have everything self-contained in that one unit. So all you have to carry is the laptop and maybe the charger, and not have to bring out a lot of extra things to make the videos work.
right.
You know,
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be different for you because, like you have your sight impairment and your
oh
hearing
yeah,
impairment.
that's not going to change.
So,
Yeah,
like
man.
for me, I could just, take out the laptop and be set. But for
Sit up
you,
on the table and you could just look down at it every so often. With me, I gotta get insanely close, as I'll show you again. People don't realize how close the screen I have to get. So you can imagine why I said earlier my chiropractor would love me. First of all, let me see why I'm talking about that. Let's get this up here first so you can see here. All right, here we got me. It's just me. I'm sitting right now on the screen, and I want to go read the chats. Now you can imagine. Now please understand. Look what a screen is. It's there's a table, there's a keyboard, there's a screen up there. So without the
I scan it.
this is a 22-inch screen. So this is a big screen. Now my laptop supports the ability to plug in external screens. That's not a problem. It's just you know, it's big enough. I mean, you don't want to have it so big that it becomes kind of heavy and unyieldy. I was surprised how heavy this white one weighed. I mean, as I picked it up, I was like, wow, this is dense, man. This is dense. This is packed. It's like, I'm thinking he's probably maybe about 5 pounds. I'm surprised how heavy it was. I don't even want to guess how much the 17-inch MacBook weighs. And then the other thing is how long is the battery going to last in that thing? Because you got to light up such a big screen.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I was a little irritated. I had bought a brand new laptop that said it would last.
Yeah, it should.
Hours, but it never did.
Yeah, it should. It should work pretty much straight the same way. So yes, my webcam will plug in the same way. Which is this one over here, which is showing me here, that one works the same way. It's USB based. My headphones will plug into it, no problem. It's got a single jack for audio input and output. It looks like one for an iPhone kind of connector, because the iPhone came out around the same time. So they probably use the same kind of portable 4-pin connection for the iPhone. And I've got an Ivory Pre adapter which has XLR input for microphone and headset output. So maybe I'm going to see if that works so I can have the sound going in and out. But what it is we need to, since I doesn't have a desktop, I tried to set up for the desktop and OBS, and it wouldn't let me. It couldn't show me any devices to plug into it because I'm gonna have to work on the sound. I'm gonna have to work on it. I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm sure you will.
It's just
now. Monica said, if you want to read her comment,
if you got a USB port extender, PS Essential Link Kensington lock found on Amazon. I have 2 generic Kensington locks that look like this one right here. This is one of the 2. It is a Kensington type lock. It's not made by Kensington though. But these little Oh, this is what they look like brand new. This will help keep the people honest. Forget my seeing the camera. So this is what they look like here. Yeah, I got two of them. This one I used last night. So
Okay.
yeah, so at least a laptop's not going to grow feet. You know, it's not going to grow legs and walk on me. I bet if anybody was oogling my laptop last night and they saw the Kensington cable, they probably go, shit. I can't steal this. It's chained to the table. Of course it is. You think I'm going to let my $215 secondhand laptop walk away? Guess again, bucko. No. I'm serious.
I don't blame you.
I mean, somebody already stole my $10 painter's light a couple months ago. And that was out there for months. And they took it off the chair. And that was just a painter's light. Now imagine what they would do with a laptop. Ooh, what kind of information is in here to steal? What kind of information can I put on the dark web? In your dreams, buddy. I'm already on top of you.
It never hurts to be prepared. Or
right, $16.99. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. Let's give a quick spot review on this, just so you understand what I think of this cable. I watched The Lock Picking Lawyer. Okay, no, for you, I don't know. I'm interested in lock picking too. First of all, this thing is basically cheap Chinesium garbage. This is not going to stop anybody who really wants to break into your laptop. It's plastic. It's part of it is metal. A little part of it here is metal. The cylinder part is metal, but the rest of it's plastic. Okay, I already got a crack on this thing already. Is that cracked or is it just paint? It's paint. Oh, okay. It's plastic. Okay, I paid for $27.99 for two of these. A key is a 4-pin key. As Lock Picking Lawyer said, it's very easy to impression these keys using an impressioning tool and break into the laptop. You don't even have to, or you can just do a brute force attack. Oh my God, this key is a nice, nasty, messy key. So anyway, you can easily break into this lock. Okay, the key has no security. It might keep some people honest, but seriously, this is not going to stop a hardcore crook. Sorry, Richard Nixon. You would love this for Watergate, right? Anyway, the point is that these it's just kind of like a, don't expect to really protect your $10,000 gaming rig, okay? Really, might stop some honest people, but the really dishonest people, they can easily take a hammer and smash it, and it's not even, or they can even take a pair of bolt cutters and cut the cable. It's not even impossible to break it. Or if you got time like the Lock Picking Lawyer and you have the impressioning tool, you can just go ahead and just pick the lock with your impressioning tool and boom, you're done. These cylinder keys are not necessarily that great. They are different. They are key different. So that's good. At least they didn't choose the same key pinning on the keys. But for what I paid, I wouldn't say don't protect the crown jewels with this, because these lock ain't gonna keep your crown jewels safe. All right. So it's not really that ideal for ultimate security. But if you're just trying to lock up or give some kind of at least minimal protection, it'll work for you. I never even heard of the company. I know you're talking about Kensington. Yeah, Kensington has some really seriously heavy duty locks, but you take what you get, right? For $7 for a pack of two, you ain't gonna complain. I found we're through the Kensington store on Amazon. Oh yeah, Richard Noon would love that. He's one. Richard Nixon would love that. He's the one that has painters like. Well, the point is that if Watergate had us for locks on their doors, all they would have to do is call the lock picker lawyer and go, I'm the lock picker lawyer, and I'm here to pick a lock for somebody today. I see we have a 7-pin key found. We have our nice impressioning tool.
Now,
And so
why
I
are
will
they called?
slide the
Are they
levers
called?
until I hear the click in the bindings.
You call them keys because they like plug in and.
Yeah,
I've never heard them called keys before.
Well, these are key. Okay, let me see what I'm talking about when I call a key here. Okay, look at that. Stupid lock. I got it. This is a key. It's like the kind of key you see on soda machines and also on alarm systems. It's a cylindrical key.
Right.
And this is the lock part of it. You can see the system, and they slide in to here. You line them up, and then you can lock it. Some of them you can take the key out when it's locked or when it's open like this, and some you can't. This only time the key comes out was when you lock it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's what makes it a key. The problem is with those keys is people think that they're high security, but here's the thing. As lock picking lawyer showed, they're not, because this one here, the 5 pins are really exposed. You can actually pick them with a paper clip if you really feel patient. But some of the real tough ones, you have to pick it like 15 times to do a rotation. But then by that time, you already got the key in some weird state. But given the way that this lock is made, it still would make it easy to get it off, even if the key wasn't fully picked the full 15 times. But once you get the pin, once you use the pin setting tool, impression tool, and you make the impression, then all you have to do then is once you set the set screws and it's locked down, you can just rotate it completely around and open the door. It's not as hard as the cylinder locks where you have to use the standard picks and the tension bars. And then you have to worry about things like different types of pins, like oh my god, like there's a lot of trap pins and trick pins on locks and doors too, which are fun from what I've seen. So yeah, the Amazon store, I'm gonna look into it maybe for when I get more money next. If they do what I think they're gonna do. There are people that want more stimulus, especially for low income people. I think that's going to be a good idea because research shows that the low income people did use the stimulus for its intended purpose, whereas the well to do people were using the money for just saving it in the bank. And so the well to do people weren't really stimulating the economy as much. I mean, they were helping with the fractional reserve banking by leaving it in the bank for the banks to go ahead and pay out to more people. But other than that, it really wasn't stimulating the economy directly. Then we talked briefly about real estate real quick. In a case of a sudden downturn as we had, how come the prices of house still shot through the roof? Well, I have my hunches. Here's the two things. Number one, interest rates are near zero. Okay, so number two, that means anybody who has money for a house is going to go jump on that and try to get the lockdown in as a fixed mortgage. Okay, because first of all, when you're seeing interest of, less than 3%. I mean, for what the bank is offering you, 3% for a 30-year fixed mortgage. you're not gonna. That's not a lot of. I mean, that's not really that much when you think about it over the life of a mortgage.
Right.
Okay, so right now the problem is everybody else wants to move out to the countryside because they don't want to be in the cities because of COVID. Okay, so the inner cities can't sell because they don't have people wanting to buy. However, the countryside homes are selling as fast as they can. Now here then we enter the stimulus money. Now you're seeing, stimulus checks $3,200 so far, right? So $3,200, and we're just talking about for an individual. The more if you got kids and a wife or a husband, you're talking enough money for a down payment on a house. Some cases, $3,200 could put a down payment on a house. And depending on what kind of house you can get, what it's appraised at, you could be paying, you could be paying under $1,000 a month for a mortgage with insurance and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad. Of course, if the economy takes a nosedive, i.e., if you lose your job, let's say, for example, you already have a steady income coming in where $1,000 a month isn't so impossible without the stimulus. All of a sudden, now you lose your job. Now you can't pay a mortgage. All of a sudden, the foreclosure is going to start. Oh, wait, what? Not so much, because if it's your only home, you can get mortgage forbearance, which means that you just basically are adding additional time to the length of your mortgage. Try that with rentals. You can't do it with rentals. There is no rental forbearance. In other words, the landlord is not going to say, okay, Michelle, you got a 1 year lease. I'll make your lease a year and a half long. No, it doesn't work that way. It'd be nice, but it doesn't work that way. All right. So, um, so right now we have the rental moratorium and the eviction foreclosure moratorium. I don't know how long this pandemic is going to run. I don't know because it seems like the Johnson Johnson vaccines are still paused. The CDC has said that they're encouraging people's vaccinators to choose either the Moderna or the Pfizer vaccine right now because the Johnson Johnson is seriously not encouraged to be used due to the investigation into the 6 deaths from severe blood clotting. I think that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, my doctor was trying to convince me yesterday about getting that shot. I'm like, nah, I've heard some bad things about it. I heard they're even recalling the other stuff. Oh, no, this other stuff is good. I'm like, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, what makes the Johnson Johnson such a selling point is the fact that it's a 1 dose. That was its selling point. The other 2 are 2 doses. They can probably be used as a 1 dose too, but the problem also is the I believe it's the Moderna. You have to, oh no, it's the Pfizer. You have to keep the temperatures near freezing, and they have to defrost it at the time of your injection.
Oh, really?
Maybe they stick it in the microwave. I don't know.
That must hurt.
So it can't be shipped as easily as the other vaccines. They can be just stored in an ice box.
Yeah.
Remember when they first started out delivering the Pfizer? They actually had the lease planes and packing them in dry ice to get the vaccines to the different distribution points. And that's kind of what makes it difficult to ship it because there's there's restrictions on using dry ice, and especially in an enclosed place like an airplane, because when it sublimes and turns into carbon dioxide, and you can asphyxiate a person if you got enough of them sitting around in packages sitting in airplanes, even for shipping. So, you know, But right now, like I said, the point is that also the inconvenience of having to do 2 shots instead of 1 is another reason why people are going, well, I really wanted to go with the Johnson & Johnson because it was 1 dose. I didn't have to go back and second time. And even it wasn't as effective as the other 2. At least I only have to go to my doctor once. Because some people really are afraid of needles. They're needle phobes.
Oh yeah.
And
My dad was a diabetic and he hated needles.
well, I can understand why.
He'd close his eyes and give himself a shot. I started giving when I was home from work.
He probably started saying, I feel like a pin. Yeah, I feel like a pincushion.
That's what he felt like too.
Yeah.
Oh, my brother's a bad diabetic. He caused that because he was a bad alcoholic. So he killed his pancreas, and thank God he survived because he almost died. But now he's a severe diabetic. And recently he went to go get his needles for his insulin, and all they had were the hypodermic, like the thick needles. So he had to give himself shots with these thick
well,
needles.
He was using like the pen?
Shots 4 or 5 times a day.
So he was using. So before he was using the pen.
No, he would draw. Well, he had the pen, but the pen stuff didn't work. I forget what the name of the stuff was, but they were just giving him like he takes long acting and short acting insulin.
Okay.
So and he would do it between 4 to 6 times a day, and they'd give him the little needles, the not the is it ID intradermal needles, which are very, very tiny, but like a step up from them. So they're like real thin.
Right.
Those are the insulin needles that they use. But I think, let's see, if I remember right, I think the higher the number, the smaller the gauge of the needle. So I think he was on like a 31 gauge and he had to go up to 28 gauge.
Ow.
Yeah.
That's the thick needles.
Yeah. He was telling me, he was like, man, it really hurt.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, he probably said to you, said, Leo, I feel like a pincushion.
Oh yeah. He shows me his war wounds, especially with these newer needles he was using. But he got the good ones, so that's all good.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I can understand for people like that. They already are used to getting poked, but they probably get tired of getting poked.
Well, when I was when I used to work, because I was a medical assistant and I worked for a doctor. He was an internal medicine doctor.
Yeah.
So he was always getting like drug representatives and company representatives for medicine and stuff that came in, and they had this one come in, and it's kind of like based off of like they have the insulin pump. Have you ever heard of those?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so they hook you up they stick you with a needle, a one-time stick, and it stays into you for a week. And I think it was
right.
I want to say it was in my belly.
It's kind of like an IV, but it's not depending on gravity so much.
Right. Well, what this device did is it would monitor your sugars every hour, and then it would graph out like when your sugars peaked, and then you'd have to keep a journal of what you ate, and that's kind of based off of how they developed the pump, because off of that information, then the pump would pump you, the insulin that you needed and everything.
Right.
So it was kind of cool.
Basically,
that
it's an artificial pancreas.
Trial.
It's like an artificial isolates a Langerhans of your pancreas.
Yeah. And his pancreas is dead. He let that be a lesson to people that like to drink a lot.
Yeah,
he was young too when it happened.
I already have a natural liver condition, so my doctor told me, he said, stay away from the sauce. You don't need it. You already got enough problems with your liver. Please don't drink. I don't think I hardly ever touched this stuff. But I'm a predisposed alcoholic anyway, because my family's all alcoholics. So I don't think it's that reason. That's maybe why I got that liver condition. Is because something that's run in the family for decades.
Yeah, I have a lot of alcoholism in my family too. Not so much anymore, because the ones that were really bad have all died off.
Right.
But
And then
that's
those,
why I don't drink a lot. I'll socially drink, but
I'll
I'm
drink
through my
maybe a little
drinking.
bit of beer, maybe once a year, or wine once in a while, but I'm
Right.
not really into it.
Yeah, I'm a wine drinker. I can't drink beer.
Yeah, I like wine. I don't like beer as much, but it seems like beer is a beverage of choice in America. I don't know. It's okay. It's just not my thing. I like
Yeah, I
it.
think it's just too filling. I'm not big on the taste either.
Yeah, but
So they have made
I'm also morbidly obese. So you see, you don't need those calories. You know.
yeah, the empty calories. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't need those
Well, that's the
calories,
same
and
with pop
I
though
don't need
too.
to see an A1C spike. I mean, I'm not a diabetic, but I still watch it. You know, my doctor still checks it too because he said you are potentially pre-diabetic. I'm like, okay, I'll take
Oh
your
yeah.
word for it. Would make sense, you know.
Mhm.
So, I try to not go too crazy with junk food. Oh, I love junk food. Oh my god, I love chocolate. I love ice cream. I love cheese. So cheese doesn't have sugar in it though. Oh, so sugar, okay, it's got fat, but it's got calories.
Cheese is actually good for you if you don't eat like a ton of it at a time
Right. And when I get
because
really
of it.
nervous,
It's
I
protein.
eat like 2 8 ounce cheese blocks if I'm really nervous or stressed.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm trying to kind of cut back on the cheese because of that reason. And so
Do you have a favorite cheese? Like, do you like Colby
extra
Jack or
sharp
cheddar?
cheddar. Extra sharp
You like
cheddar.
the sharp cheddar?
I don't like this. I don't like the cabbage seriously sharp anymore. I used to like it, and you realize it's got a lot of salt in it too. So yeah, you're gonna go. Uh, let's see. It's seriously salty cheese, and it's kind of got and the same thing. Or it's like the same thing watching my sodium levels. I don't want to get high blood pressure. My blood pressure is normal. Actually, it's lower than it's in the low normal, and I don't want to go. Get to high blood pressure is ridiculously high. So I try to find a balance between all the things I eat. So,
Yeah.
but I'm finding right now. It's funny, by the way, looking at the right now the stats and the fly of the moment. We have only 7 viewers right now. But I guess that's okay for a morning show, and it's
Yeah. Well,
not a lot of people chatting in the chat right now.
no, they're just kind of listening. Glad you know.
Maybe people are just starting to wake up, or of course they're probably at work.
Yeah, they could feel like me. I mean, I think it's weather related
Oh,
partly, and
definitely. I like
I've
this.
been staying up later at night too. That's not good.
Well, that's something I tried not to do. I try to do lights out at 12 because I figure I got to get up in 8 hours. I might as well get a good morning sleep and then get up in the morning show. At least get 8 hours in. So I don't even check my phone as much at night anymore. I do for a while, but like once the midnight comes around, it's like lights out. I gotta go to sleep. I gotta get some sleep. I gotta get up tomorrow morning. I woke up at 5 in the morning today. I was like, why am I up at 5 in the morning?
I stand.
Rusty wanted some attention. Oh, well, I was like he was trying to say, excuse me, can you put some food in my bowl? I'm like, what? I gave you a huge amount of cat food from the other bag a couple of days ago. And he was kind of looking at me like, Michelle, that was a couple of days ago. And the dish was
What do
almost
you
empty.
feed?
I was
What do
like,
you feed, Rusty?
okay.
Do you
What
have a particular brand you feed them?
meow mix?
Oh, okay. Yeah, my cats like meow mix too.
Yeah, because it's
I've
easy.
actually switched them to Friskies because it's so funny. I have two cats, right? And the one has issues with her teeth. So I
Right,
switched her, and so she was losing weight because I don't think she was able to eat the dry food. So
right.
I switched them to a kitten dry food because I thought, well, kittens have little teeth.
Yeah,
The food's
yeah.
probably going to be smaller. And she's picked up weight, and she seems to be healthier. But the other cat has gained weight too, and I don't know how I'm going to do this because one needs to lose weight and one needs to gain weight. So I'm not sure how I'm going to.
I was having the same problems here too with the Rusty and Fame. Fame was having problems because he had a stroke chewing hard
Mm,
food. And Rusty, of course, is built like a linebacker for the Kitty National Football League. So the
yeah, he's a big boy.
CNFL. I mean, he's built like a quarterback or a linebacker. And so you got an old 20-year-old cat. He was like, if you try to give me the hard cat food after he got his stroke, it was like he wasn't able to chew it, and a lot of it was ending up in the water dish. He was trying to soften it up with the water.
Aw.
So he kind of figured it out that much. But so I ended up giving him canned food, which did him good. But then, he doesn't eat a ton of cat food at once because he's always been a nibbler. So he'd be nibbling along, and in comes good old Rusty. Move over, buddy. That's mine.
Yeah, and that's their instinct too, because he probably sensed that Fame was, on his way out, and
Yeah, yeah. But then the problem was Rusty's not the one that needed to eat the soft canned food. It was Rust.
I,
It was Fame, and
but he
so
was gonna get his share. That's for sure.
well, yeah, he's the neighborhood Godfather cat. Everybody knows him. You're eating my food, buddy. Move. I'm the top cat over here. You move so I can eat now.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a cat that thick. I've seen big cats that are like, I had a cat actually he was very, very long.
Oh,
But
Rusty's actually
he
not.
wasn't thick.
Rusty's not really fat in the traditional.
No, he's not. No, he's not fat. He's just solid. You could tell he's solid.
He's like trying to move a cinder block. You ever try to pick him up? It's. I mean, he makes my arms hurt picking him up. He weighs about 35 pounds.
Holy cow, that's a big boy.
Yeah. Before he was fixed, he was still heavy, but not as heavy. But when he got fixed after that, holy crap! The cat became a cinder block. He went from a brick to a cinder block. So I asked the vet. I said, "Is there any way you can get him on some hormone replacement therapy so we can get him to lose some weight again?" She said, "Don't work that way, Michelle."
Yeah. Well, what did the vet say? Did he say that he was a good weight for his size, or?
Yeah, he's good for his weight for his size, but the vet hasn't seen him since he got fixed. And
Oh,
I described him. He said, "Oh yeah." He said, "Yeah, he kind of filled out like a lot of tomcats do when they're fixed." I'm like, "Yeah, but this guy is heavy." He doesn't
he's
look
like a little dog.
Yeah, he's about the size of a poodle or a chihuahua, maybe a little bit bigger than a chihuahua.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
why I had to laugh. My daughter wants one of those little tiny teacup type dogs, and I said, "Are you kidding me? Our cats would eat that thing. They'd probably think it was a rat or something."
He probably would. And you could bet that little dog would have been very, very nervous.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't think after my old gal finally goes to doggy heaven, I think I'm not going to get a dog for a while. Not unless I get a house. I just don't think it's fair to keep them cooped up in an apartment all day.
Right, I agree.
Dog. Cats are different.
Well, cats like I said, Rusty's an indoor-outdoor cat. Okay, like when the doors open, he goes in and out. Same with Fame. Yeah. There was an indoor-outdoor cat. Fame didn't go out as much in his later years, but when he went out, he never came back. So he already knew. He already knew the neighborhood. He already knew all the good spots, and so.
Yeah, I had my one. As I got her when I was about 5, and she got up to about 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
And she kept trying to go outside and wander off. And I had moved out at that time, and I just left her with my parents. And my mom had to go out looking for her with a flashlight a lot of times because she just kind of wanted to die outside. And my mom was like, "You're not dying by yourself." She was like, one of her kids. She had her for 18 years. So.
Yeah,
She made
well,
sure she had her.
I think Fame kind of didn't want to see me have a broken heart, and he knew that I put a lot of effort in to keep him up, and I was already suffering with a lot because my knee injury, and
Yeah. I
as I
honestly
said,
believe that animals.
I talked to my friend Spirit. She passed away a few years before Fame did, and I told her what happened to Fame and the spiritual plane. She said, Michelle, you didn't do anything wrong. Please don't take it hard. You know, my cat had a happy life with you for over 16 years. I mean, I've already seen him running around over here on the other side. He's doing fine.
Yeah. Well,
And
you said he was. You said he reached 20, right?
yeah,
Yeah, that's a long time for a cat.
yeah, it is.
So
And
yeah, he lived a long, healthy, happy life. That's for sure.
yeah, he had a long, happy, healthy life. He had respiratory issues. He had like asthma, which I can understand. The vet even said, "Yeah, it's just something that those Turkish fans get. They get respiratory issues, but usually they do fine. Just they wheeze a lot sometimes, but it sneeze a lot." And like I said, I see. So I talked to Valerie Spirit. And she told me that she sees Fame over there on the other side, and he's doing fine. He's
That's wonderful.
the pets, by the way, for those people who wonder about this. Yes, the pets do meet you on the other side. They they miss us, and they're looking forward to see us when we get there. And yeah, well, you jokingly said you might have a zoo around you because there's
Yeah.
so many pets that we've had over our lives, not just this lifetime, but prior lifetimes.
Yeah. Well, after I had two dogs um throughout my relationship and my marriage with my ex, and we ended up having to put down the one. She reached about, oh, I
Yeah,
want to say she was like 16 or 17 when we had to put her down because she just couldn't walk anymore, and she was she had no control of her bowels or her bladder, and she was just miserable. And
right.
I was heartbroken because she was like my baby. And about a week after she passed, I kept seeing her like out of the corner of my eye. So I think she was just coming around letting me know she was okay. And
I don't know, Monica. Monica, I honestly can't tell you. I mean, that sounds like Fame. I mean, that sounds like Dusty. Dusty did the same thing. He was he came back once or twice, and Rusty chased him out of the house because I think
yeah,
Rusty and his son Dusty were kind of fighting, and Rusty didn't want him there anymore. His son was
yeah.
quite capable on his own. He was an alpha tomcat too, so he was like just like his dad. He was big and surly and heavy and strong, and so I guess
Oh,
Rusty was like just defending his territory and saying, "Look, son, you're an adult now. Go out there and find the girl cat. It's your time.
huh,
Go mount her, son."
huh. Yeah, my mom actually had a cat that did that too, and that was her baby. In fact, his name was Fuzz Bucket, and she
Okay.
nicknamed him Baby because that was her baby. And one day he went out and he just never came home. She looked everywhere for him, and they were hoping that maybe a neighbor took him in, and he just never found his way home
This could
because we lived
be.
in the country. So it could have been coyotes. It could have got hit by a car. You don't
It could
know.
be. You're right. We don't know. But maybe he's still
Mm,
doing fine. Maybe he found a new home. They do that. The
yeah,
cute cats, they find homes. I
yeah,
mean, they
but
say,
yeah, she
"Oh,
was
what a cute
heartbroken.
kitty." And of course, there's no license or tags on him. Well, I think he's a stray, ma. It may not be, but they don't know. You know?
Yeah,
And
yeah. See, we used to have a collar on them, but being out in the country, collars are very dangerous for cats because they can
absolutely.
get caught on things.
I mean, that's like guarantee making it easier for your cat to get himself into a big pile of trouble with a collar.
Hmm.
That's why I don't have collars on my cats.
Yeah, I actually the cat that I had at 5 years old, she actually got caught up on a fence one time with her
Right.
collar, and thank God she was able to wiggle herself out. We found the collar stuck to the fence, But she wasn't wearing it anymore, so she was able to get out of it. Thank God. Otherwise, she would have hung herself.
Well, I mean, that's why they came out with these flea collars called breakaway collars. But the only thing is,
Yeah.
it's another thing for the country cats is what's the point? Either they're going to break out of the collar, the breakaway ones, they're going to snap it, and then all that flea powder ain't going to do any good anyway, or it's not effective anyway, just a collar around their neck. When most of the time the fleas will just move to the back. What are you going to do?
We couldn't do the collars for our cats. It would
right.
It would do something to their fur, and they would go.
Oh, absolutely! I've seen that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So we always just ended up doing, like, if we got a really bad fleas, that ointment that you can put on their skin.
Yeah, I tried the regular flea powder, and that didn't work. I tried the flea shampoo. My cats were kind of sensitive to that. But as I said, Rusty doesn't like to take baths because his fur takes too damn long to dry afterwards. Fame didn't mind the water, but he didn't do too good with the flea shampoo. So instead, I would just kind of just wash his fur with regular Tresemme, and it would do fine. The fleas would wash off in the water, and the eggs would wash off, and it would make his fur look good. But it still took a while to dry. But Rusty was like, "You're not putting me in that tub. No way."
My daughter has a cat that, well, my ex has him now. But when I give my daughter a bath, the cat would get in the tub with her.
Yeah, some cats do like water.
Yeah, he loved the water.
Especially if they're Bichon cats, or even if they're Turkish van cats, they like water. Because in the Lake Van region where Fame was from, they're excellent swimmers. They're built for it to swim. Well, Rusty is built, they're built like kind of like your Phelps there. They're built for the water. They're fast swimmers.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Fame is a landlubber. He's not going to get wet. Even when it's raining, Rusty would be like, "Nah, I'm staying inside." Fame would be like, "Yeah, go out. I really don't want to get wet that much." Because Fame, I think, it doesn't totally like to get totally soaked. Because it takes a while for them for.
Did you really lose a finger, Skunk Ape, or are you just being like? Because we wouldn't give our cats a bath unless they absolutely needed it, and I was always the designated bath giver. Except for one or two cats, we had to have two people.
I have never had a problem giving Fame a bath, but Rusty is definitely not going to tolerate it. A shower, I give them showers instead because Fame doesn't mind the shower if the water's just the right temperature, and then he feels like, oh, okay, and it's just like being in the rain. It's with nice smelling Tresemme hair shampoo, and getting all that grunge and flea eggs and everything off of him. But Rusty's, because his coat is so thick, he would take 4 to 6 hours to dry when you had him that soaked. And then he's like miserable. Don't even talk to him about a hairdryer. They will not tolerate the hairdryer.
I know. It always amazes me when I see people put the hairdryer on their pets and they love it. My animals hated it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if it was a hooded type of dryer where the motor is a slower speed motor, like on a hooded type dryer, like the one my mom used to have when I was a kid, that had like a bonnet on it she put on, and it had a hose that connected to the box with the heating element in it. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad. Maybe they might be a little more tolerant to that because it's not as high pitched. Because it's the high pitch that drives them crazy. Because when they have very sensitive high pitched hearing, because they need to be able to hear for rats and rodents in the wall. So they can hear ultrasonics. So, because a lot of rat calls are actually ultrasonic. Same thing with mice. So the cats can hear those squeaks, and they know where they are. I remember one time we had a mouse that was in the wall, and Fluffy, my late Fluffy, was like watching that wall. She was like, "It's over there," and this little tiny mouse is like scratching on the other side of the wainscoting. I was like, and I slapped the coating on. I said, "Knock it off." The mouse left. or at least the mouse ran the other direction. But
Yeah, we never had an issue with. We would get every winter. We would get a family of mice that moved into our house. They wouldn't be there long because the cats would wait just for that right moment, and they would always get them.
yeah, unlike you see in the Tom and Jerry cartoons, they're very successful at getting them.
Yeah.
That's one thing you never really, of course, is cartoons. You never see it, but is the fact is that in reality is cats are very successful at getting their man or getting their mice. It was a cartoon character that was some kind of crazy cat that said that crazy cat. It was Klondike cat. Klondike cat always gets his mice, gets his mouse. Yeah, well, they always do because especially those that are, will, in practice, they know what to do. They know what the mice are. They know what. If you got two or three cats, sometimes there'll be a kitty posse. They'll go around an area and they'll just surround every place that the mice could go. As Jinx the cat says, I hate Mises to pieces. Oh, yeah. And sometimes two or three cats, if they're good friends, will go around, surround an affected area where the mice are. And the minute one mice comes out, it's goodbye, Charlie. Yeah. Sneaking out, say, 4 days after surgery. Wife hid my keys. I found them. Going to the casino. Wish me luck. Surgery for what? When'd you get surgery?
I think he had surgery on his leg. If I remember right. Jet kills.
Oh, why don't you take your wife with you to the casino?
Oh, Monica, you named your cat Joan Jett.
Really?
I've got some great picture of my one cat. He was a fuzzy, like a long-haired dark cat. I got good pictures of him when he caught his first mouse and he threw it up. He was throwing it up in the air like he was celebrating. Like, look what I got, Mom.
It's true that male cats don't usually leave their little presents for you, but the girl cats do. But Rusty always leaves me his little presents.
Yeah, my mom's male cat would always bring the mouse or the shrew or the mole that he caught. He would always bring it to her in her bedroom and drop it on her bed.
Yeah.
One time he brought it, it was still alive. She was so mad at him.
I remember one time when I was sitting in my apartment at Willimantic and my old Fluffy, which is a white and gray tuxedo cat. I'm eating ice cream. What's he eating next to me? He's eating a mouse. And I didn't. I felt bad for the mouse. There I am eating ice cream. He's eating a mouse. Well, are you eating snacks today, buddy?
I like his ice cream. Oh, you had fusion?
Yeah, well, anyway, so he was eating the mouse, and I was eating some ice cream, and I didn't even realize it was a mouse until I happened to turn around and I put my hand into something wet and squishy, and I went, "Oh, it's yours!"
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Please, just so sure I don't put just make sure I don't put my hand in the ice cream bowl, so I probably would puke.
God.
Oh, anyway.
Now,
so,
did you ever have any strange pets, Michelle?
Strange pets? No. Well, those are my pets have been cats and dogs. I have mainly cats. I guess I had the crow. He was kind of strange. I mean, it was a wild crow. He moved into me and Ed's apartment and over Fred Richards in Winstead. This black crow just came over and started hanging out with us. And he was an indoor-outdoor crow too, so he would always be perched on things and watching everybody. But like all birds, they're not exactly the cleanest thing in the world, and he would do a little bit of an airdrop here and there. Yeah, I mean, right? Cassie is this big, giant, hairless, disabled cats. Yeah. Especially the mother cats, they try to always kind of give you something to say that they care about you. So, first of all, anybody who has a cat and who doesn't understand that about that, please don't get mad at the cat. The cat's trying to show you that they care about you.
Yeah, and they're proud. You're very proud.
How you doing, Charlotte? Magpie that kept and raised and learned to talk. Okay. That sounds cool. Kind of like Heckle and Jekyll, huh? Heckle and Jekyll. There were two magpies, crows. They could talk. I forgot what these sounded like. They had like a British accent, like.
Oh yeah, I remember Heckle.
Well, I'll tell you one more tea, old chum. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I remember them.
I watched a lot of cartoons as a kid.
Those were the best cartoons.
Yeah. And of course, McGilly Gorillas, Mr. People.
Oh yeah, I remember them too.
McGilla! I'm coming, Mr. People, I'm coming. And poor Mr. People couldn't really find a home for McGilla. I really feel bad for him. I like Squidly Diddly too. He was kind of good. A squid.
I don't know if I remember Squidly Diddly. What was that one about?
And then, of course, there was the Muttley.
I remember Muttley.
Yeah. And his flying companion. I forgot which cartoon series that was on, but that was kind of funny.
Those were the Hanna-Barbera ones.
Yeah, all the Hanna-Barbera. Yeah, those are the ones I remember the best. And then, of course, we got the newer ones that came out in the 80s from Filmation. Like I mentioned, Thundercats, Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, I hated the Powerpuff Girls.
They're kind of okay.
And my nieces like them, but
they're kind of okay. I don't think they were the worst. I think the worst ones at first I was watching as a kid was He-Man and the Masters of the Universe at first. But then after a while, I kind of got used to watching it. It wasn't so bad after a while. And I really fell in love with She-Ra, Princess of Power, though, for some reason.
I love She-Ra, yeah. I had the toys growing up of She-Ra.
You can still buy She-Ra, Princess of Power stuff.
Well, they got a new cartoon out now. They revamped it. I do not like what they did to her.
Well, what did they do?
They made her more like Amazon-y, I think. Instead of like, she was just kind of a normal girl that...
Right. And then they made her sound like this big, giant power woman or something.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I guess the 70s Filmations were pretty good. I mean, the 80s Filmations with She-Ra was pretty good. Princess of Power. I don't know about any of the remakes since. The Sabrina, the animated series, was pretty good too. The new Sabrina they came up with in the 2000s was, I don't know, it was closer to the actual TV show than the cartoon. But I like the cartoon version better. With from this, that was on the Disney Channel, Disney Cartoon Channel, and then of course there was animated Disney or Toon Disney, and then they came out with as I said, the third version, which is like yuck. I mean, the early Sabrina the Teenage Witch from the 1970s. I can admit I like that song. The theme song is really kitschy. But the cartoon was kind of campy. But it was 1970s. What do you want? Remember the kind of audience they're trying to entertain is mostly, 7-year-olds. So you take it with a grain of salt. The same thing with the Archie Andrews Comedy Hour. I don't know. There's something about the cartoons now. They're not all that exciting anymore. I think either the writers have run out of ideas or they become so awoken that they can't decide what kind of stories they can tell without offending everybody. The point where
that's the problem.
Yeah.
Our society has become
too sensitive.
Too like sissies.
Yeah, just too sensitive. You can't say that on YouTube. You can't say that on the radio. You can't say this in the press. You can't say this on TV. You can only do this. You can only do that. Gee, you just killed up a whole bunch of storylines right there.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, that one school was trying to even take pronouns out of it. Like they didn't want people being addressed as he or she. They wanted them to be dressed as them or, they.
Well, sometimes that works, sometimes that don't.
No, I mean, I don't know. I'm just
hoping that this cancel culture will be canceled soon. I just hope that's
yeah.
I just hope that one day somebody's gonna wake up to reality and goes, guys, we're doing everybody a grave disservice here. Let's cancel the cancel culture. Or let's at least tone it back a bit. It's like I understand that you don't want to do this because it's racially insensitive. But, for comedians, they're like, we're gonna have something to laugh at. Come on. Stan says, MicheleMarieDalene, which new zoo review character do you identify with? Freddy the Frog, Charles the Owl, or I haven't heard of Freddy the Frog since the 70s. I don't really remember the characters that well, but the names ring a bell. I mean, the owl you bring up, Charles the Owl, and Harriet the Hippo. Those two those ring bells, but I don't remember what they looked like or how they acted, or even how Freddy the Frog acted. It was a live action, I believe, cartoon thing in the 70s. I remember I watched it on my mom and dad's black and white TV in their bedroom as a kid. I met someone once who said it was Z or Zer. I said goodbye. Okay, yeah, exactly what I'm talking about. They come up with whole new pronouns. Some people even call them. And now, listen to me right now, Mr. Moderator, YouTuber. I'm not saying this to be disgusting. Some people even call me a shit. A she, he, it. Like, really? Do I look like that to you? I'm definitely a woman. So, Charles L. Performed by Laurel Thomas. Website voiced by Bob Holt and later Bill Calloway, a sudden serious know-it-all who lives in a tall tree equipped with an elevator. Oh, that sounds like a nice life. Sort of like me. I think it sounds like a lot of the Virgos I know too. They try to know, but we don't claim we know everything, but we'll just, we just study a lot. Henrietta the Hippo, performed by Sharon Baird, voiced by Hazel Shemet, is a tutu-wearing general hippopotamus with a southern belly personality who is a bit shy. That sounds like some Pisces I know. Yeah. Or even maybe a few Cancers. But usually when you see the shyness, it's kind of a Piscean trait and being emotional. The same is true with Aquarius. Aquarius are mainly introverts, but they see. The funny thing is, the zodiacs. This is another subdivision between the zodiacs. You got 6 of them that are very from Aries to Virgo. They're extroverted or more extroverted, more talkative, and then you got those from Libra on into Pisces that are more introverted and more quiet. They're not quite as social. So I think that's interesting. I mean, a Henrietta Hippo sounds kind of fun, actually. I actually would have met. I met real people like that. By the way, they're kind of shy. They're not, and they're also a little bit on the larger size, but kind of, they're kind of friendly. You like them. They get along with you good. I have a friend like that in real life, and she's like really, really nice. Monica says, "Oh no, my hubs knows it all and is right. The rest of us are just lazy." Yeah, I know, Monica. Yeah, I know the thought. I know the way it goes. Because I definitely am like that too. Except the difference is I try not to act too arrogant about it. You know. By the way, here's an interesting chart. This came up from Zodiac Talks. I didn't make this up. Which is the cleanest zodiac sign? Well, the messiest is Aquarius. No, sorry, Aries. Aquarius is the third messiest. The cleanest is no surprise is Virgo, which makes sense. Virgo is the one that's clean oriented, cleanliness oriented. Capricorn's not too far behind. Capricorn is like fourth down. My baby knows it. Oh, right. Yeah, I just read that already. Okay, yeah. So, like I said, it's there's a lot of things about the zodiac that's interesting. How it's divided up into six groups of six. Like I said, the first six groups from Aries to Virgo are more socially outward going, and then from Libra to Pisces are more inward or introverted. Um, as I said, technically speaking, Pisces is the opposite of Virgo. Okay. Excuse me. I almost could have been born a Pisces. First of all, let me tell you something. I don't think I would have been very happy as a Pisces. That's why I kicked my mom's water to get out of her so bad, so fast. I don't want to be a Pisces, Mom. Bam.
Why don't you want to be a Pisces?
Because first of all, is they're very emotional people, and they're kind of like a Cancer. They're just very emotional water sign. They're just I don't know, just I don't know. They're good people though, but they're very emotional. They wear the hurt on their sleeves.
Yeah.
You
What
know.
if you get like a narcissist Pisces? Because I know a Pisces and he's a jerk.
Oh, I'm sure we got those too. My shit don't stink. Sorry, I'm better than you. Oh, let me go check my webpage real quick here. Oh, I'm the best fish in the sea. Mm-hmm. Oh, please gag me with a freaking pitchfork. I'm not.
But my younger brother's a Pisces, and he's very giving. You know,
they're very giving. They're absolutely giving. But the problem is that they wear the heart on their sleeves, and so what happens in some of them is they just like Cancers. They can get extremely moody and emotional. Because they're both water signs.
Yeah.
So you know,
this guy doesn't act like a Pisces at all. I think there's a lot of mental illness with him.
What's that? Which guy doesn't act like a Pisces?
The one that's a narcissist.
Maybe maybe he's a trans zodiac like I am.
He might be.
Who knows? Maybe he's a Capricorn. Or maybe even worse, maybe he
acts like a Capricorn.
Is he goal oriented to the point where he really works really hard, but tends to?
I think he's kind of lazy, to be honest.
Oh, so it might be a Taurus then. You might be surprised. Like I said, there's some interplay between the signs. It's not hard and frozen rules of how the zodiacs work. I don't think there's going to be people talk about trans zodiac. You hear about transracial, you hear about transgender, but I don't hear too many people talk about trans zodiac. Well, first of all, there is no surgery for that, so you don't have to worry about that problem. And I think there's no different pronouns of your trans zodiac. You know, it's just the way we're wired inside. Do. Just like the Pentium commercial, you know. Virgo inside. Virgo. So, preconceived notion of the birth sign is not wrong again. What? Okay, what's Stan saying? He said, I'm easygoing Pisces. Oh, Pisces are naturally easygoing, but they're just a very emotional signs. They're just, They try to be very social butterfly like. They're not bad people, but they are very emotional. They're not normally uptight. They're not like an Aries. They're not going to sit there and, which happens to be the sign after them. They're not uptight people. They do like a social life. They do have some fun with the social life. Orange Tabby said, my birthday is coming up. Taurus and the cusp of Aries. That's an interesting combination.
Yeah, that is.
On one side, you got a sign that's an outgoing go-getter. And then you have another sign that is basically does only what he or she feels is worth doing.
They're
that's
both, but
that's the
they're
trait of a
very, they're
Taurus is
both
that
very strong too. Like strong in their beliefs and
yeah, stubborn. Yeah,
yeah.
Tauruses are stubborn, absolutely. I learned that from Ed and Mike. The same problem. Two Taurus guys that basically are very strong willed. They only do what they feel is worth doing. And they'll fight to keep doing what they believe in, even if you see it's not going right. They're like, shut up, lady, I'm doing it my way. They're stubborn. But if you can convince them to change, no, that takes a lot of work. Sometimes it's not even worth the frustration to try to change the will of a Taurus. They're just going to be like, I'm not changing for you. So, anyway, so today I'm going to try working on the MacBook on the kitchen table and see if I can figure out the sound system. So, only problem is I'm going to use this as a test. Well, since you can record sound and stuff too, wouldn't it make sense before going live and wasting one of your notifications? Just play a video on YouTube and see if you can capture that with OBS and video recording mode, and then yeah, I think that would be a good idea. At least if I can get the sound from Chrome to pass through to the recording without almost wearing a headset, then that'd be a good start. I did download a program some time ago called Audio Hijack, which it was for that purpose, for routing sound from one source to another. What is almost Mike? He's a Taurus. Orange Tabby feels very earthbound. Well, yeah, you would be. You're in a that would make sense because you're Taurus, but you're also very firebound too. You're a fire sign and an earth sign at the same time. So yeah, you're gonna have loyalty to both the fire element and the earth element. I'm not exactly a cusp, but I do got some water in me. I do like water, and I don't got a lot of Pisces. I got a little bit of Pisces in my chart, but I got so much Virgo that the Virgo is also an earth sign. I am earth based. Yeah. May I join you for a moment? Oh, you want to join me on the panel? Okay. Let me open up the public one for that. That way we can keep the other channel private because we're not going to share that link out anywhere. If you want to join the moderators chat group, we can give you that link. But let me just get the other panel open here. Hold on a minute, please. So let me get this panel open. All right, so that one's open. Just give me a second here. Starting up. I can still send the Google Meets. Let me show here. Is that still set up? Okay, so there's the link for that. And get that captions on. What is this? I randomly searched good morning and changed the filter to today. Well, this show is kind of like a show of people coming in that we talk about everyday things, and some not so everyday things. So just Miss Jamie, I just posted a link out to you.
Oh,
Okay,
just
don't
Miss
worry
Jamie's
about
gonna join.
just before you end the show. Well, the Google Meets for the public is open now, so if you want to come on the Google Meets for the public, um, don't be afraid to talk on it. That's why we have two Google Meets. One's the public, one's the private one. If you were theoretically speaking, you should be. Are you on Discord? Are you on Discord by any chance? Because if you
I think
are,
she
I could
joined the Discord.
just Miss Jamie. I thought she was on Discord.
Yeah, I think she joined it. That's what I'm thinking. I thought I seen her name in there.
Well, I
could
could
be
do
wrong.
is I can add her to the moderators chat group. So let me see because we got one more spot free. Let's see. Yeah, I know she originally was on here because I remember I
How
talked.
come you only have? You can only have so many people in one
Right,
chat
right.
group?
I know. That's I already got one spot
No, no.
available.
I'm asking you. How come you can only have so many people in one chat group?
I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe they
Huh.
figured that 10 friends is enough. That's probably why.
Maybe.
That's why. Oh, Michelle, that's not that group. Oh, okay, that's why. That's another group. You're trying to join her into the other group. You want to join her into the moderators chat. Right. So
Well, somebody just beeped in.
okay, let me check it right now. Here she is. How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Are you on the Discord? Because if I will, I could have you join in the moderators group.
Yes, I'm on the Discord as well.
All right, so we go ahead and send you a message or add you to the moderators chat group, and then because I did see your name here, so what do you want?
Yeah, I had Discord for a while and then I deleted it and now I've had it, so I'm still kind of trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just added you to the moderators chat chit chat. That's not the North American Snow Queen crew. That's another group. I can add you to that one too.
I think I'm in that one.
Okay. Well,
Excuse me.
just add you into one group here, so you have both groups, so you can keep what's going on here. So, because Shimeko left, so
see, that's like, here's what I wanted to say. Like, I know the morning show, and I loved how you said it last week. You said something about the morning show is like a coffee house. You come and chill and hang out, drink coffee. And the night show is a little bit more jokester and like laughing and kind of like a bar like.
The night show is kind of more like a bar room, pub scene. You know, where yeah.
I agree. And I know you're worried about your monetization, and everybody, including Schmeckel and Skynet and everybody, is so proud that, like, you know, you finally accomplished that. Like that's an amazing thing that you grow and you work toward. But like, I didn't see the show that got deleted last week, and I heard it was a doozy. But like, also at the same time, the night shows that you've already did is still in your back catalog and you're monetized anyway. Those shows had a lot of name calling and weird, you know, things happening, weird phone calls, the funny, you know, stuff, and you're still monetized. Like, it's not hurt the channel.
Most of them are, yeah.
Anything. And so, like, I don't know. Like, I always loved coming to the night shows just to and like your one-liners, like you would get frustrated and for you to be upset but they never took it to the point to where it's so bad or so crazy. And it just was lighthearted fun. And when you started shooting one-liners back and laughing and hanging up and, you know, like it made for a great show.
Right. Well, like I said, here's the part of the problem that with the YouTube is that they don't really explain to me what it is, what they don't like on the night shows, or they go to a yellow dollar sign. So I don't have a clue. Is it the language? Is it is it something that's being said? Is it something that's being
are they
done?
being demonetized?
So that's what I'm asking. It's like I want to ask YouTube is this question, and they keep saying, "Well, check out the monetization policies." I did, but the problem is it doesn't explain everything.
Well, are they being demonetized, your night shows?
Some are.
They've demonetized many of my night shows, and I appealed and got that back. Last night is one of the few shows I didn't even have to fight it because it was already approved, green already.
Well, see, here's the thing. I know if you watch Rosie Murphy's channel, I don't know, but she talks about YouTube has a lot of issues, like a lot of even the makeup side that don't even have panels and stuff like that. They're like putting on makeup and talking about brands and stuff like that they have to go through the process and resubmit things as well. Like it's just kind of the YouTube system. It's not necessarily
right.
like people's panels. So it's like if you resubmit them and they do get approved, then I know it's extra work, but it kind of keeps with your format.
I also
of the show
do know for a fact that they're very sensitive to brand names being mentioned.
Right.
Because that could affect, like for example, if a lock is made by, like we're talking about the cable lock, we're talking about the Kensington style of computer cable lock. Is Kensington going to take offense? And I'm talking about a competitor being a cheap piece of garbage, or are they going to be like, oh, well, she's not talking about our lock being a cheap piece of garbage, and she's showing us the packaging from our competition.
That, Michelle.
I don't. Yeah, that's just opinion. Like I don't think that unless you're blatantly like
right.
Defacing the brand and running it into the mud constantly, like giving your opinion on something or, whatever, that's a whole other thing. But like your old shows though, in your back catalog, I mean, there's some pretty crazy like night shows on there.
Yeah,
you've not had strikes, you've not had any sort of anything. So it's just a process and you're still learning it as well. Like it's new to you to figure out. So I can understand that and you don't want to lose it, but the phone calls and the sound, like, I mean, I don't think Schmeckle would ever hurt you like that. Like, I think he teases and has fun, and him and Skynet would never do anything to, like, put your monetization in jeopardy or anything.
Right. I don't think he's trying to do anything to cause me to lose my monetization. I think that what it is it would have been more better if instead of just saying limited and no ads, explain specifically to me what triggered that, but they won't tell you.
Yeah, YouTube won't. And I know a lot of people's channels are having issues with that. Like they have to run them back through and they have to figure
they have to appeal it, right? And then they go appeal it, and then the human moderator looks at them and usually they say, oh, there's nothing wrong with this video. There's no reason why you shouldn't have been demonetized.
Yeah, but I think Jamie's right. I don't think it has really much to do with your content as much as it is just YouTube's
algorithms. Yeah.
And you're just learning it too. So that, I mean, that I can understand how you're nervous and things about, getting to, and nobody wants you to lose that monetization that you worked so hard to get. Like nobody wants that for you.
Right.
But I think like the night shows, like kind of keep the same vibes. Like the people, I mean, it's worked so well and it's exciting to have new people come in as well. Like I took a break for a little bit, came back. And
well, that's a completely different topic, but I'm going to bring that up real quickly too, is trying to welcome in new people. Some of the people who have checked out the channel, they come in, they subscribe for a little bit, and this is normal churns. This is nothing really shocking. And so for a while we were up to 1070, and then one time we were up to 1080. Now we're down to 1064.
Well, that also
and so for me, one of the questions that comes up is why, like for example, we gained 4 and then we lost 4 just from one show.
We've explained this to you before. Remember, Noodles brought you a lot of the people that watched him.
Right.
And when he left, they were here to see him and his shenanigans and this and that. So they probably left for that reason. It really had nothing to do with you.
Right. But also, YouTube has an issue as well where people on even bigger channels, they'll come in and it's usually, they say in the fall and the spring, they'll have a lot of people deleted from the channel and the people won't even realize it.
Yeah, they'll purge them.
And
Yep,
also, like
exactly.
Rachel also said, the problem is I have friends that would like to recommend your shows to, but they're scared to interact with the show because they're afraid that they're going to be attacked by somebody in the chat. And it's
I've
like,
never seen people attack.
because that's
people.
what it was. Some of the
Yeah, we get. You should watch. Just because we're moderators, we're attacked. For just stupid stuff. Yeah, it's
Well, I
Yeah.
think
it's the
a
same.
couple of
It's
them.
like for me, it doesn't bother me, but for someone who's like more sensitive, it could bother them.
Well, shouldn't they
Right.
tune in to the morning show when it's more laid back and then stay, like Michelle is doing videos in between. So there's videos and then they can come into the morning chat and then
Yeah,
they can,
that's what
if they don't, I mean, she puts all across the board, like different shows. So kind of different people tune in for different.
And like I said,
Exactly.
and then of course,
Right.
like I said, there's always the issue of, the racial comments,
Yeah. Well,
the
we're
racial
working on
insensitive
that.
comments that comes
there
up
too.
occasionally. I have tried to explain to the majority of the people who call on the show and say, look, please don't do that, because
Right.
YouTube is primarily very much strongly part of the cancel culture, and they're gonna misunderstand what you're saying, and then they're gonna take it out on me. And that's
But
in the
you would have that on
soundboards.
your show, though. That's nothing. Like if you go to your back catalog, which I understand where you're coming from, 150%. Like that's a valid thing. But you've had that on your show before, so it's not like they just started doing it and like, what? So I get that. Like I get both sides of that, like because it's been there and it's been a staple of the night show randomly here and there, but they didn't strike your channel before or anything like
Right.
that, and you still have it up. So
But here's something that's like I mentioned this last night. I don't even watch the back catalog. I really don't, because a lot of the shows really just they really hurt me inside so much that.
Yeah, that's part of another thing too. Is we're trying to, and it's hard. And I mean, Jamie, I'm sure she's been around a lot longer than me, but there's been shows that I've seen Michelle just shut down because these people will call up and just tear her down. Right. And we're trying to get them to stop, but it's like they don't care.
No.
Right, but she's done that before, and I would talk to her on Discord, and like after the show, and she would be upset, and then we'd talk for a little bit, and I'm like, just kind of joke back with them, turn it around on them, and she like the next few shows would be like insane because instead of like just shutting down, she would start making one-liners or questioning them back, and it would be funny, and she'd be
actually it was mostly Lumi that would do the wisecracks most of the time.
Get her fired up. Have her make an appearance. Like, I mean,
see, that's what we're trying to work with her with, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Jamie. It's like we're trying to get her to like maybe let it roll off her shoulders because people like me, you, Schmeckle, we know when these people call that it's not true. A lot of the stuff that almost 99% of the stuff they say is not true about her. Right. And we're trying to get her to realize, that don't be, just laugh it off, shrug it off. Some of the stuff can be hurtful, but I mean, we know it's not true.
Right.
Right. Oh, most definitely. And that's the internet, though, in anywhere you go, like in the makeup, like wherever, like that's just, I mean, how it is. And that's why I don't get on a lot of panels or do YouTube. Like, I'm really shy. Like, so for me to come up here and like talk and like, I get it. Like, I get it. And I'm proud of her for putting herself up there like that.
Oh,
and she surrounded herself with great people like Schmeckle and Skynet and, like good. I don't know you guys that well, and it's nice. Right. What's your name?
I mean,
I'm Leo. I'm Blazing Leo.
Blazing Leo.
Okay. Hi, Leo. I'm Jamie.
Hi.
But I've seen you in chat like before, but like, yeah, like I get it. And it just, you're going to have that. And especially like people paid to get the phones turned on so they could call and have fun and do the shenanigans. Like, and I think most people know it's a joke. And, Lumi is really good about like joking back. And she just kind of needs pep talks at night instead of being like, oh, well, you should just shut that down and shut the phones down and take the sound. Like, just kind of like go with it and just laugh and
Well, I mean,
don't
I'll be
take it
honest.
seriously.
Sometimes I do shut the phones down in the show if it's getting to be too much for me. Because Lemmy
Right.
said
I
that's
mean,
fine. You need
taking a
sometimes you
break.
need to take a time out, especially when it
Yeah,
starts
taking
getting
a break isn't.
ridiculous.
Right,
Yeah, it's not
right.
bad to take a break, but I see what Jamie's saying. That's part of your show. That's what brings your views.
But when we started getting
Pretty
the
much,
cop
yes.
callers, that was pretty much when I really seriously kind of got very, very upset with that. The cop callers, they were calling the police to Winston Police. Winston Police would be showing up at my door
Oh yeah,
for.
I've seen that. Yes, I have. You talked to them and say, hey, like put a code. Like, I mean, if you need them, you say like a 4-digit code or something. Like if it's a legitimate
Well, like I
call.
told the Winston Police Department, I said, look, I mean, because they explained to me, he said, we didn't even get a phone number. We just got an
Right.
address from a robot voice saying that
Uh-huh.
domestic disputes. We don't know who it is, so we have to respond to it as if it's a legitimate caller. And Michelle is taking our men out of the available officers to deal with real issues. Remember, I went to school with these guys. Okay, I mean they know me, and they said
Right.
we've always known that you've always been a honest person, but whoever's doing this calls, it's really making it hard for the police force. Is there any way
Well,
you can get them to stop? And I said, would love to, officer. I said, but I don't know who it is.
Yeah, they
but the
can't.
thing is,
See,
you're getting
Michelle,
more
that's what I don't
famous.
get.
Like you're getting
Your
bigger,
police force
so
can't
it's gonna
put that
happen.
on you.
Yeah.
That's not has anything to do with you. That has to do with
Right. So
the
I
jerks
told
that
the
are
police
doing it.
officer very nicely. He said, look, let's, because they said we have to respond to all 911 calls, regardless if it's you calling or not. It's a state law. We can't just go ahead and say, okay, this is not a real call. This is a real call, because if it is a real call, if someone was using an automatic tele-announce
Right.
machine or something, we have to respond to that call because it could be an automated security system
But do you
calling it.
realize though that I know that you appreciate law enforcement and that like you're a law-abiding citizen and all that, and that you would never do anything like that. But
Right.
as you
Not only
get
that, but
like,
the officer that came in the daytime or in one nighttime, he said, "Yeah, I was the one who actually responded when you broke your kneecap." He said, "I'm glad to see you're walking
oh,
better." By the way, so
oh,
as I said, Winston's got a small police force. We only got like 6 officers,
uh-huh,
on the shift. So I mean, it's not like a huge like police department like Los Angeles and New York. So we have the same officers that work the same beats, and so that you know he recognized me. Of course, I went to school with him, but he said also, he said, "I'm glad to see that your knee is good enough now, that you're walking better now." He said, "You having a lot of trouble walking?" I said, "No." I said, "I walk a lot slower than I used to, but I'm still moving." He said, "But is there any way?" I'm talking about the male officer. I also talked to the male officer in the daytime too about this, who also knew me. He says, "Is there any way?" I said, "that we could actually prevent the police coming out to a call that's just a robot
no,
calling?" And he said,
yeah,
"Unfortunately, Connecticut law says we have to respond to all calls as if they're legitimate to 911." And he said, "Oh." I said, "So what can I do?" He said, "Well, since we know it's not you doing it and you're not encouraging it, because we've been watching your shows,
oh,
um,
that's cool.
there's not much you can do. We're just gonna show up, Michelle, because that's our job by law. We can't help that. But the most important thing to do is please keep your calm, keep your cool. No one's gonna arrest you because, first of all, number one, you're not encouraging it.
Right.
And this is when the officer I talked to in the daytime, he said this. Then the officer said the same thing. The lady officer that was cracking her nightstick around here, well, she kind of grudgingly agrees. I guess, oh, I guess Michelle's got a point. We can't do anything about it. She can't be held liable because she's not encouraging it. So when they kept showing up at the end, I said to myself, I'll leave the door open. And if they want to come
Yeah,
in
I've
and
seen
check
it.
on
You're
me, they
like,
can
hey,
come and check on me.
happy birthday. They wished you a happy birthday. Like,
They did
they
wish me happy
came,
birthday on my birthday, yes. Um, And that was nice of them that they came.
Celebrities have that problem too. Like if you
I
look
don't
at
think they
TMZ,
expected
you look at New Day.
I don't think they were expected to come on my birthday, but they did, and they said, "Oh, it's my birthday today! Happy birthday! You know, for just a happy birthday visit." I'm actually kind of kidding with them a little bit, but they were like, "Oh, okay, it's another false one. Oh, okay, but happy birthday, Michelle."
Right. That was great. Like, I mean, I thought that was sweet of them, and they were like just checking, didn't even come in, whatever, and just went on their way. Like, granted, in a perfect world, like that's not a normal thing to have happen, but celebrities do that. Like, you get like more people paying attention to you, and things like that happen. Like, it's not just you that it happens to.
Right.
There's a
And
lot of
I
people.
remember in some ways is that I'm part of the special needs community.
Right.
You know, very similar in one concept to Etika, where Etika was chewed up alive by his trolls. I mean, the poor guy committed suicide over it, okay? I mean, I really feel bad for him. He was a big channel. He had like 600,000 subscribers. He did the show he did because he loved doing it. The trolls ruined him. Okay, I mean they actually resulted in coming. He already had suffered from bouts of depression all of his adult life, and it just basically the end. He said in the final message, he said, "Well, thanks guys. You know, thanks for the good times." And then they found his shoes by
Do
the
you
East
ever
River.
feel like you're getting to that point, Michelle or Lumi, like either one of you, like that it gets that bad for you?
It has not gotten that bad. And no, it never got that bad. But I mean, but like I said, I really feel my heart really goes out to the guy.
Right.
Because I mean, he really was dedicated to what he did. He was a gaming channel. He loved gaming. He loved having fun with his audience, but some of the others in his audience took it too hard and too far. And that's where, again, you got to find the right balance. How far do you go? Where the host feels like they're about getting their stuffing ripped out from underneath them, especially since his multi-channel.
Too, Michelle, he might have had a lot of other like personal things going on as well.
Yeah, well, let me give you a list of the other things that were going on so you understand more of the backstory. First of all, because his channel had grown so much, his multi-channel network that he was part of, the MCN, wanted more money for his participation in the multi-channel network. Okay, and they wanted like hundreds of dollars for being part of the MCN. At the same time, the trolls they would donate money and then they would go ahead and do a charge back. And then at the time, he was linked to his PayPal. And then PayPal will charge you like, $30 chargeback price. And you got to pay that before, in most cases, that would be waived. They couldn't even pay his rent. He was in the hole. His bank account balances were in the negative. He lives in Brooklyn, New York. The rents are ridiculous for a single room occupancy. He couldn't pay his rent. The landlord was ready to start evictions against him. He couldn't get ahead whatsoever. He tried to get mental help, and the mental help people were like, just said, take 2 of these and call me in the morning. Oh, that didn't work because he didn't have the right insurance. So they couldn't really do much to help him with the long-term mental health care. I went into mental health for a while because of the depression, because of the trolls. And that was really minor compared to what he went through. At least I got therapy through a scholarship, but he couldn't even get that. So, and we did work it out with the therapy session. And one of the things that my therapist said to me is this: number one, do not let these trolls keep chewing you up like that. It's not good for your health. You got to find a way you got to find a balance to keep yourself healthy.
Right. There's a balance to everything, like everything. But people like Schmeckle and Skynet, like, look after you. They know like like they kind of use that buffer to help, like with calls or you need help. Like Schmeckle knew when to step in and what to say and how to shut things down and kind of, guide the path to a different thing or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you're being attacked, like you're being viciously
right.
bombarded.
But
with people
sometimes it's
that
kind of
want
hard
you-
to tell when they're being vicious or when they're just trying to have fun. That
I
you
think
know,
we're all trying to
first
have
of all,
fun
I am
and
not
get a
by
laugh.
nature. I am a very serious person in my life, and so
Right.
I don't know what's funny and what's not funny because I can't tell because everything I take is serious. That's the Virgo
Right.
in me. That's also a little bit of the Aquarian in me too. It's like everything to me is, facts, figures, numbers. So
Well, that's
if
something
you
to
say
work
you're
on,
gonna go
right?
stab
Use
me with a
that.
letter opener and gut my cat, I can't tell if you're serious or not. And then that's where
No.
Lumi kind of kicks in
Well,
and
I
says,
would
"Wait a
take
minute,
that
that doesn't
serious."
even make sense, and that doesn't even make logical since they don't even know. You don't know where they live. You don't know. They don't know where you live exactly. I mean, yes, your videos do have your address in it, but if somebody really wanted to gut you like a fish, they already would have done it years ago. Trust me.
Exactly. And that's a good way of thinking about it. And that's very intelligent to,
Yeah.
rationalize it that way.
But I'm certainly not going to go out there and encourage it and,
Oh,
let
right.
it
No.
precipitate and continue because it's. And then, of course, there are people that watch just. Then, of course, there's a question about the audience. I try to think about it from the audience perspective. The people that want to come here and feel comfortable. This is not a drama channel. I don't even know
Right.
who could sit through drama channels and not basically want to throw the phone throw the phone at the wall. I don't even find it enjoyable. But so I like the place for people who may have PTSD, may have stress disorders, that they can come in and have a good time, enjoy a show which doesn't make them feel like they're under a constant attack or the anxiety is just going to go through the wall. And that's because I have anxiety issues. That's the Virgo in me. I don't really want to go to the point where I watch a show and I feel like I'm constantly going to have to bolt and run away because my anxiety is climbing up through my throat through my acid reflux. Because I got acid reflux too, and not as bad as I used to, but I still got it. So you still when I feel my stomach acid coming up my throat and I feel like I'm going to throw up, that's how I know it's really when I've reached my ultimate limit. And that's what it says. It's saying, gotta go. I gotta go. I can't deal with this. I mean, that's usually when I tell Michelle it's time to turn the phones off and take a break.
I think though, Jamie, I think she's having an issue recently with handling. I've seen her shut down a couple times.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah. And like I said, you guys have known her a lot longer.
And you said when Michelle shuts down, that's when I try to kick in and try to keep the thing from being a total comatose case.
She's actually a couple, 2-3 weeks ago. I mean, I've seen her where she was almost literally in tears online.
Right. I've actually done shows.
I started joining panels
you go back in the
I was
last
trying
shows,
to deflect the trolling from her to come maybe more towards me.
Because, if you go back to shows from 2016, 2017, you'll actually see me cry on camera.
Right, but it's always been like that. Like for years, like people paid to get the phones turned on so they could have the phone calls, and they paid to get them installed. And that's kind of like since then, that's like what has been the show. Like I mean, it might not be everybody's taste for the jokes or whatever, so you let some roll off your back. But I mean, and some go too far. I'm not like it. For my personal taste, but then there's some nights that it makes the show, like it makes the show for the whole week, and you'll even be doing dishes or housework, and you'll think back to that moment of, okay, Lumi or Michelle said this to that, and you'll just start laughing like days later because it was so funny. You know what I mean? Like it's
well, sometimes I'll kind of chuckle some of the stuff that's said.
Okay.
But
what
when
would
I watch
you
the reruns, I do watch the reruns on some shows because some of them were actually worth watching, and some of them, but a large majority of the catalog is just, some of it were just like, where's the funniness? And some of them, especially the callers, talking about my teeth. First of all, I'm very sensitive about my teeth.
Right.
And no,
so
I never
bleached my
teeth.
Jamie, what do you what do you suggest for? Because if it's breaking her down, other than her just cutting off the phones and stopping everything. I mean, it's obvious
Well,
she's
then,
having a hard time adjusting. Like me and you, obviously,
right,
we don't have Asperger's. We don't have,
right,
like the sensitivity like she has.
but
But
here's the thing:
it's
she's been
obviously
doing this for
affecting
years.
her.
This has been ongoing for years, so she's handled it rather well. Like the attacks on teeth or personal like that on anybody is just disgusting. Like that's just disgusting regardless. My thing is, like, when Noodles came over, and I'm not trying to say anything bad about him or his community or anything, but that's just a full-on troll, community. It is what it is. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, and the people that come with that are different from the trolls in the community that was already over here that kind of build things. And that's what I think, honestly, with Schmeckel on the panel, like he has always looked out for her, like whether, it's went too far or he needs to shut him down. Like, he finds a good balance with her on there. Like, that's always been my opinion. I always think that. And then afterward, there would be some days where she would call me on Discord and we would talk about things. And once she kind of heard it from my perspective or just my thoughts on it, she was kind of like, oh, well, I kind of get that. That kind of makes sense. So maybe if she's got people that she could talk to maybe make her look at things a different way,
Yeah.
or just try to help her,
Yeah, I've talked to her a few times offline.
Yeah.
To try to get her to.
Well, that brings up a valid point. I mean, there's a lot of YouTubers on YouTube that a lot of them have pervasive developmental issues such as Asperger's or autism spectrum disorder, ASD as it's called now.
Right.
And they're coming out here and they're trying to make their lives as best as they can. Some of us don't have a very good insulator, if you will, with the
Right.
hard stuff maybe because of our upbringing or maybe because of our disabilities, we tend to be very soft and and easily offended and hurt. I get a feeling that's why I have a lot of empathy for Etika, because the poor guy, um, he tried to do his best. He did the things that he loved, and then the people took it, you know, where he
But
turned
he
his
had a lot
whole
of
life
other
upside
issues other
down.
than just trolls and online, though, like his rent, his house, who knows what else. Like, it seemed like a combination of, and the mental health laws in this country are horrible getting somebody help. Like, they're just non-existent for the most part. Like, it's more than just the trolls in his life that would, do that. And for me, honestly, Michelle, Lumi, like, you are stronger than I am, because for me to even come up here and talk, like, I've only been online twice and it's now the third time, and it's your show. Like, that I won't do this for many people. So, like, I'm shy, I'm nervous, I've got anxiety. Like, I get it. And I think you are such a trooper for coming up here and being able to do the things you do and have done it for years. Like, to me, that's amazing.
Well,
And
that's another reason why this show does Michelle does the show she does is she wants those who've been who are normally not comfortable to feel like they're in an area where they can comfortably talk about things on panel once in a while. And if you
right.
are in a room full of hungry tigers, you're not going to want to be the one to speak up. That's the poor little church mouse.
But I came up at the night. The two shows I've been on were at night. And usually Schmeckel has to be there because, like, I trust him, and like, like, I feel like he is a huge asset to your show. Like, I feel like he balances things out to
Right.
where,
Right, he
he's
does.
got your back.
I
know
mean,
he
I'm
respects
sorry that I
you.
really feel sorry that he kind of got a bit upset with the night shows the way I want to go with the shows. I mean,
And
I'm
that's what
not
I'm worried
angry at
about. You're
him
going to lose a
personally. I
lot of
would like to
people.
have him here. I think we did excellent when Vlogger Puppets was here too. Vlogger Puppets decided because him and Schmeckel didn't get along that he didn't want to be on the panel anymore because Schmeckel was on the panel. And again, there's some disagreements among the two, And now I want to get Vlogger Puppets back over here, but he doesn't want to come back on. And I don't know why.
You need to keep a core group of people, Michelle, that you can trust, that are faithful, that you know, that have been there, and that will be honest with you and look out for you, but have some fun as well. And, you know, be able to have that core group and talk to them like after the fact, or like, you know, what did you think about, and just kind of bounce ideas. It's ultimately your show, but I don't want you to lose your core group of people that like Schmeckle or what, that have looked out for you and that mean well because of some other thing. You know, I don't even know what's going on. Like, I have no clue. Like, I'm not privy to any of that. This is just as somebody outside looking in, and have talked to you for years. You know what I mean? Like, this is just, I wanted to come on and talk to you.
Well, like I said, what I would do is, if you really want to get to see how things started out, go look at the back catalog. Just look at I think officially started doing the shows, night shows, more regularly, I think around 2014. And
I've been there.
If you watch those shows, I think we started in 2014, maybe 2015. I know it was before we were in the Yellow House, where we're starting to do the night shows with Coffee with Lumi and Michelle, which were very, very primitive shows. But if you look at them, not so much because of the technical imperfections, but what the show was about, there's a lot of dedication that goes into it. If you're live streaming for 5 years, almost every day, that takes a lot of dedication to do that.
Right. I mean, I agree.
Yeah. And of course, I mean, we went from doing videos and vlogs and bcasts to doing live streams, vlogs, and bcasts. That just takes a toll on you because your whole life is wrapped up around the camera. It's so obviously, if I'm upset about something, you can see it. You can see it, especially in the shows, because you know there's not really much you can do to. It's not like a live video or a video where I can press the pause button and say, "Okay, calm down, don't get upset, keep cool." When you're talking about this product,
you know, and you take a break, you turn off those phones for 5 or 10 minutes. Somebody will, you know, you and Schmeckle will have banter. Whoever's on the panel will banter a little bit, and then the phones will get turned back on, and it, you know, just kind of let it roll off your back and like joke with them and laugh at them. Don't take it serious. I know it's hard. But just, you know, if you do that, the more you try to fight them,
the other thing is too is right now is I'm very sorry to see that Schmeckle got us upset at what was going on.
Well, I think, Michelle, if I can interject just a second, I think Schmeckle, you know, I mean, because I think he's used to the, you know, the regular banter, the stuff like, you know, with the phone callers and stuff.
Right.
I think he's getting a little upset because you're so worried about the monetization. You know, where like Jamie said, you know, it really hasn't affected your monetization before, and now you're kind of like, you know, don't do this because of the monetization. I don't want to lose my monetization. He like I said, he likes to be he likes to cut loose and have fun, and that's what he's been doing all these years, and now he's kind of limited.
Well, again, this is where I wish that YouTube itself would tell me exactly what the problem is instead of.
But I don't, like Jamie said, I don't think you're ever going to get a straight answer from them.
Right.
I don't.
So basically, it's like trying to throw darts. It's like trying to throw darts in a dark room, hoping to hit a bullseye, and all of a sudden you hit the cat instead. You know.
Right.
And it's the only way you know you hit the cat was when the cat screams in pain. Oops, sorry, I meant to hit the dartboard, not you. You know, so
move, Rusty, move. But there's people that lose monetization for like a month, and they'll have to go through YouTube system and like clear things and whatever, and then they'll get their back pay and everything. Like it's just YouTube system. It's wonky. It messes up at times.
Well, that brings up another valid question. When they demonetize your video, do you get paid when they took away all that revenue? Do you get all that money back for all the videos that were people that watched it since that? appeal was
According
approved?
to Rosie Murphy.
Let's
Let's
give some numbers to this example so we understand what we're talking about here. Let's say, for example, you have a video. We'll just talk about the live stream, okay? Let's say you had a total of like 80 views, okay? 80 potential videos. Maybe they've already originally, before they was demonetized, 80 people clicked on the ads. So let's just say you made just to pick a nice number. Let's just say $2. Okay. All of a sudden they demonetize your video, claiming it's not suitable for advertisers. Do they give the $2? Do they take the $2 away from you? And then when they later deem say, oh wait a minute, this is appropriate for all audiences. Do they put the $2 back in the account again?
Yes. Actually, I'll send you a video. Rosie Murphy was talking about that. She's been demonetized for a month. She's got a decent sized channel. She goes on trips to Vegas and this and that. She got demonetized, and she's been demonetized for about a month now because of a glitch in YouTube's system. And she was talking about, that specific thing like last night or the night before. And they, like, after so long, they will give you a person directly to talk to, like after you have so many glitches or whatever. So I wonder if maybe you could reach out to her and kind of ask some questions. And
I know it's surprising because I was never given a YouTube channel contact person for YouTube to talk to them. I mean, I know the big channels get it for like 10,000 subs. They can get a person like a manager.
Like over like 1.9K. We'll see if maybe she could get in contact with you and maybe just bounce some questions and you could ask her, because she's been through it for 15 years or so. Like she's been, for years on the platform.
Right. They're pretty much when YouTube started. Yeah.
Yeah. And so she's even having issues, and she does content like traveling, and she calls it chooching, and she'll go around different towns and just kind of show you, different places and stuff. And she doesn't have, the content's not bad or any, like I said, it's just all across YouTube. It's not just a specific thing, and it's for everybody. Like it's not just, you are having issues. It's a lot of channels. It's
YouTube are you system. Talking about Rosie O'Kelly, Jamie?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Rosie O'Kelly, yeah. She's got a large following. Yeah, she has a large following.
Somebody else.
I'm regarded. I'm not usually up this early, and I was like, I have to be up here because I've kind of heard something about Schmeckle and getting upset, and I care about Michelle and Lumi. I care about Schmeckle. I love the show. I love the night shows. Sometimes they go too far, but I'm telling you, some of these shows have stayed with me for weeks where I'll be doing something and just laugh and think that was so funny. Or just Michelle or Lumi just firing back at them, making a comment and hanging up and her laughing. It's just so funny. And
by the way, speaking of funny show where me and Lumi cut loose a bit, but even though it's not necessarily with the chat, if it's more between me and Lumi, you should check out the gaming channel. Because
the world of, I do watch that. The world of, and Schmeckle played that with you for a while too, right?
That's why we play World of Warcraft.
Get back into it with her.
And that's where you see me and Lumi more of our natural, relaxed element, playing the game, and occasionally I'll flick my eyes over and look at the chat if there is any. I think most of the time that there really isn't any chat going on in that channel, even though it's open. So it's interesting to see the interplay between me and Lumi.
Right.
Let's see. I thought that's what she said. When 10,000 subs, nobody calls her and accuses her of drinking pee. Monica, yes. Well, you're still alive. Yes, I'm still alive, Bubba. Well, the morning shows too tend to sometimes run long and deep.
If somebody calls about drinking pee, I mean, come on, realistically, anybody and everybody watching knows that that's not really happening. I mean, whoever's saying that might be immature, but the reality is,
they're doing it just to get her go. They know it bothers her.
Well, first of all, I think that the reason why they're doing it is they see that my front teeth is messed up a little bit up here. That was from a childhood accident. That wasn't from anything else.
But Michelle, the thing that I kind of live by is you shouldn't care what anybody says about you, because it's
Right.
what your friends know and
Right.
love about you, and nobody's teeth are perfect,
Right.
Nobody's.
Right. And they're just teeth, just like it's just hair. They are what they are.
And if they didn't like you, to be honest, Michelle, they wouldn't be calling every night anyway. I mean,
Right.
yeah, they're kind of asinine, but it's they keep coming back.
Right. She's right. Like, she's totally right.
Right.
And it's built you a following to get onto monitor. Like, it's built you got loyal people. And that's what worries me without Schmeckle. I'm not like, I've kind of taken a break from like YouTube and doing things around my house and helping some friends out. I've had some deaths and all that. So I've been like,
Bubby, you want to join? You want to join the panel right now? We've got Leo on the private one, and we have just Miss Jamie on the public one. If you want to come on, I'll give you the public one. The private one is in the Discord, so on this Discord link. So yeah, I like I said, I mean my channel is like even Multimedia Jay said this. He said the videos, the live streams usually are only going to have a short number of views because of it's like here and now content that people are going to be watching right away, and then say about a couple days later it's going to fall off because no one's going to really find relevance to it. He said the videos that he said on his channel that do fine are the videos. He said the washer dryer video, he said, is still getting tons and tons of views and likes for the portable washer and dryer he bought, 110 washer and dryer. He says, my honest opinion, he said, and this is on his podcast, you're saying this, you really do better with the videos if you want long-term clickability because they're focused on a particular product or topic.
But you've been doing a lot of that, though. You've been throwing videos in the mix, like about your bed, which how do you like the bed? Is it amazing?
Yeah, I do like the bed. It's amazing. It's a foam type bed. It's nice.
I'm so happy for you.
Rusty is giving his seal of approval on it too.
Yay!
Yeah.
But like your videos like that in between the live streams, like in the morning or at night, like I mean, you're putting out a lot of.
There's only one thing that you have to keep in mind, though. YouTube no longer gives you an unlimited number of notifications. I think this is more or less to keep control of the channels that go video crazy, especially the big guys.
Well, here's what I've heard they do. They send out, like, they push out like 1,500 notifications. And if people click on those, like within the first hour or 2 hours of them sending them out, then they'll send out another mass group of notifications.
Right. And that's why YouTube, and I was part of the survey, is do you think we should leave the notifications limited to 3? And honestly, I have to agree with that. Yeah, limiting it to 3 makes sense. Especially for mom and pop channels that really don't have a lot of content, because most people are not going to use those 3. But I think you should be able to upgrade to more notifications if necessary.
Right.
But like I said, is like, so I said, well, I don't do any video live streams on Sunday, and I only do like one live stream on Saturday. So that means in the weekend, I theoretically have 5 notifications available to me between 2 days. So it means that I could do 5 videos, 3 on Sunday and 2 on Saturday during the daytime, and that would be more than fine. So even if I had the videos in the weekdays, I could always upload them on the weekends and you would see them because they would be less day and time sensitive anyway.
Right. And videos are a lot easier to control, the content. obviously you know what you want to put out.
Right. You edit it
You don't have
down.
to worry about
You
anybody
keep the
calling
length
in
short.
and saying the N-word and
Right. And you already
That'd really
have
be
you
good.
already have the topic in the case of an unboxing sitting right in front of you.
hmm
Like the mattress, I guess what you can call that is an unboxing in its own way, right? It's
that's why I
like
said
Right.
do a review on, like that spirit gum and that other
right.
stuff you use. I
Well,
mean,
I
that's
talked
interesting
about
to
the
people because
glue.
I don't know nothing about that stuff.
I really don't know nothing about it either.
Yeah, but if you do it,
We could all run
like,
together.
you may have to wait a week or so and say, and to finish the video, but you could put something in the works and say,
right.
hey, I'm going to try these two things out. This one works better because this, and
I definitely would say, by the way, for those of you who want to know about the Pros 8 adhesive, it does work well. But I definitely say buy the glue remover because you're gonna. I don't care what some say rubbing alcohol works. No, it doesn't. It actually does the opposite. It reactivates the glue. So, um, that's a good way to refresh the glue if you want to re-stick. But uh, this stuff will stay on to hold your prosthetic in place for weeks. As I found out with the ears.
Do they get sweaty? Like the ears, do they get sweaty or like you've not really had them in summer, have you?
I haven't worn them yet in the summertime, but summer's coming up. I never really had sweaty ears. As
Huh.
I said, I've taken baths with those ears on, and so when I take a
Nice.
bath, I dunk my whole head under water, so the glow is water resistant. So that's a good thing. Is it's not gonna fall off because when it gets wet. But the New Year's I do have a little bit of a personal beef about the ear color versus the old ears. Let me show you the difference here. Yeah, let me show you the difference in the ears. We did talk about these last night, but I got 3 ears of what we're going to talk about here. Okay, so I'm going to pull one of each out of the bag. That way we can show you each of the ears individually. And I'm just going to grab 3 ears from 3 different manufacturers. And I'm going to switch this camera over to the ears so I can show you the ears. I'm put on the webcam here. It's just as good as any. This is right above the monitor anyway, so I could just. Okay, so here we have. This is the old ear, and you can see it's really been through a lot. Okay, it's beat up. It's rubber. It's latex, and I do get a replacement from the manufacturer. And you'll see that it doesn't have a lot of rigidity. It's kind of floopy. If you can imagine like a German Shepherd dog ear, if they didn't have enough cartilage in the back, it would just kind of flop around. Then we have the new one from the seller. It's a little bit more rigid, but the colors are different. You can see this. I don't know. This one here doesn't quite match my skin. You can see the
Can you
difference.
show them? I can't see them.
And this one here matches my skin better. This is the one that's supposed to be skin flush. This is the new ones. Okay. But the ears that I like for a lot of reasons is these. And one, you can see it matches my skin better. 2, they have more rigidity to them. They're more rigidity. They're not as floopy, but they're not as long either. And you don't even have to use these with glue because I can just hook over my earlobe. Let's see, just my finger here. Hooks back to your hooks on, and then it would just. This is the left ear, so and then you just hooks on like that, so you can visualize it. So there's the ear, and there's the so it hooks on. The problem with these ears is, and I trimmed these off because they came with some extra flaps of latex on them. I kind of trimmed them off. But the problem is with these ears is they're not the length I wanted. But as far as durability, these ears are more expensive. I paid, I think, $30 for these 2 ears, for the right and left one. And but they don't have the length I like. But they're good if I want to do something in quick, dirty hurry. I do like this ear here because it's supposed to be flesh color. You can see it's not quite my skin flesh. It's pretty close. But compared to
Can we
this,
see them, Michelle? We can't see him on the camera.
Oh, I don't have the camera switched on? You should do.
No. I see a pretty dress.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I'm actually showing. I actually do see me on the camera because I actually just
I can
switched.
see you, but not the ears. Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
There you go.
okay. So they're right here on the table here. I'm going to say this is the ear. This is what I'm showing you. So you can see the difference here. This is the new ear. This is the color on my wrist. You can see what it looks like. And this is the other ear that is older latex color. And I think, I don't know which one's better because they're made from the same mold. But they're made from the same mold, but this one's a lighter color. I think this is one that was painted flesh color. These were originally unpainted. But you can see
the difference, yeah.
You can see the difference in the tips here. The way that they look different. Okay? And you can have.
Is there any way you could get some sort of paint and kind of?
They do have paint for latex. So you can use special paints that you can use to paint the ears with.
And you might even need to mix a couple to get your color. Like you might need to get and play around before you actually do the ears, just to let it dry and set and kind of see.
Right. Well, let me see if I can get this ear to stay on long enough so you guys can see what it looks like. Okay. So let me try to get this on. I gotta take my headphones off, so I won't be able to hear you for a second. Hold on a minute. But I will just describe the process. There's no glue here. Okay, first of all, this is the right ear. Let me get the left ear. And they go on kind of like a sock. They just let's see. They're hard to get on. If you have the Prozade glue on them, they're even worse because right now it's just. Let's see.
Your dress is really pretty.
I don't think she can hear.
Whereas you can see that this is just a pain in the butt. All right, no, that's not on. It's just not okay. Let me turn on the caption so I can see what you're typing. So because I can see that.
You mean
at least I won't be totally out of the loop because I don't have speakers on. So, okay, so let me try this again here. And when I put these on, they're supposed to hook on like this, but without the glue, it's really hard to keep them to stay on. And the rubber is very flimsy and very lackluster. But every time I put the Prozade glue on, it makes a mess. All right, so I guess I'll just hold up my fingers. So you can see now how the ears go on like that, okay? Because I don't have any glue on. I can see it looking at the video. It doesn't look too bad, but you can see that they're kind of a yellow color. But compare this ear with these ears. These ears, as I said, they just hook on. So if I grab the same ear, I'm going to grab this goes on like this. And you just do is you just like a pair of socks. They just slip right on the back. And then they pull down like that. And they stay without even any glue at all. They don't even have a problem with the glue. They stay without the glue. So if I was trying to decide, which I would choose to wear, I kind of like the little ears because they're easier to put on. The big ears are okay too, but they're I don't know, just more work to get them on. So a lot better than the ones that I bought from Blizzard, which were the official manufacturing ones, which were more good for Halloween decorations. I had little elastic bands that are designed to hold your head with elastics. They're like, please, those are awful. So now you see what I'm talking about with the ears, right? Did I lose everybody?
Nope, I'm here.
No, I'm just watching.
Somebody was trying to ring through, though.
All right, so let me check that. Maybe it'd be Bubba. Let's see if it's on Bubba. Yes, it is. Okay, good man here. How you doing, Bubba?
What?
How's it going?
Oh, hi.
That's
Hey,
good.
Bubba. Morning.
I thought there was somebody else in the panel.
Jamie was.
Yeah, just Miss
Meeting.
Jamie, I believe, is still
Oh.
on the other panel.
Good morning.
She's on the general link.
Yeah,
Oh.
she's in the general chat.
Hang on.
Because she doesn't have the private one yet. Because I just added her to the moderators group. So she should be able to get the link for next time.
Well, she could do it now then, too.
Because we see the reason we do this now is Bubba and Monica know, or and Leo know as well, is that sometimes on the public ones, the trolls
They
will
overrun
sabotage it.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to have a panel where we could, because YouTube itself, actually Google Meets, doesn't seem to have a very good way of crowd control. And so you can kick them off the panel, but then they come right back on again.
Yeah, that's an issue. If someone is booted, they shouldn't be able to just pop right back in like
Exactly.
that. The failure of the system.
Especially if you boot them off the panel.
Exactly. If someone,
think
I
it's
understand if
amazing.
someone leaves and they want to come back in, that's one thing. But if they're booted off, there needs to be a flag set that they can't just automatically
Right.
come back in.
And
like
also, there's the
Isn't
other
that
issue
the
too
fun of
is
it sometimes though?
what that some of them were doing with denial of service is that you would send an invite, then you hang up, send an invite, hang up, send an invite, hang up, and what it does is for the moderator we get beep, and they try to answer and they're not there, beep, then they're not there, beep, then they're not there, and then no one else that you want on your panel can join because the system is so busy trying to let you know that the other person is trying to join your panel when really they don't want to join your panel. They just want to be a pain. So that's the issue there.
I think that's the beauty of some of the shows, like the funny chaos that, I mean, not all the time, but that's what I enjoy about the night shows.
Well, see,
Well, the chaos
yes
is-
and no. Go
Well,
ahead.
yeah, the chaos is fine, but she'll get people in here that will totally disrupt her. I mean, where we
Right.
can't talk or anything like that.
And I love Michelle, but when it gets crazy, she gets overstressed and shuts down.
You're absolutely
See,
right
my
about
goodness, for
Stephanie
years,
Cartledge.
Like,
You
she's
could
a
probably
lot
use.
stronger than what people think.
Somebody
I
was
mean,
talking about the need to put some kind of a stiffening, maybe like a piece of cartilage, like maybe a piece of thin plastic or something. That's going to give it a little more rigidity, or maybe like a stiffer foam material that can still flex and still, because they're really nice ears, but when they're too floopy, that doesn't look realistic either. Look, I watched
or you can get some.
my
wrapping paper
character,
that-
Michaela,
sheet
walk
paper.
around in the game. Her ears bounce a little bit, but they don't they're not that loose. They're kind of rigid. They're not super rigid, but they're not super loose.
Well, they shouldn't be able to fold over at a point, which yours can do at this time.
Right.
Go to the
What
dollar
about just
store and get
stuffing
some
them with
tissue
cotton?
paper.
I'm sorry, Jamie. Go ahead.
Cotton might work, but I think
Tissue paper.
that there's a type of plastic I've seen like in green shopping bags in the base of the floor that's kind of flexible until it gets hard and then it snaps. I'm gonna find something that's gonna give some softness. It's not gonna be too difficult to work with. Ideally, something that's a light color, so it's not gonna be too obnoxiously noticeable. So maybe I can find maybe something like a thicker type of cartilage like material. Yeah, I'm gonna need that anyway because another reason, as you can see with the other ears, the little pink ears, they're easy because the material is shaped in such a way that it provides the rigidity, whereas the big ears don't provide that rigidity at all, and it just makes putting them on a bloody nightmare.
Does the glue ever bother your ears?
No, it doesn't.
Huh.
It's
That's
hyperallergenic, so it is meant for prosthetics. It is approved by the FDA for medical devices.
Oh, wow.
So that's why I used what I used, is because it was approved for the FDA for medical applications for prosthesis.
So you use it on the back of your ear is where the glue goes, is on the back?
Right. You put it's contact adhesive. So you put a little bit on the ear itself and you let it dry. And then you put some on my real ear, and the same thing where it's gonna attach. And just like contact adhesive. They stick together. And they stick really well as long as you play it really well. As I said, the glue would even let me take baths and wash my hair with the ears on, and they would not fall off.
Amazing.
The glue is water tolerant, so you can go swimming with them. You can take baths with them. You can swim in this. I don't know about in a chlorinated pool. I haven't tried that yet, but I suspect it probably would be fine in a chlorinated pool too.
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask about sleeping, but if you're talking about baths, showers, and swimming in a pool, that's pretty stout.
Oh yeah, I sleep with them too.
Yeah, but that's nothing compared to what could happen,
Right.
with a solvent like chlorinated water.
Right. I don't know anything how it would react to chlorine in a water in a pool. I don't know. I don't know what breaks latex down besides sunlight, which I know sunlight can break it down too. I don't think it's got any kind of UV resistance to sunlight.
I wonder if you get a tan in the summer, like the lighter ones, if they will match a little bit better.
Yeah. I do like the leather ones. I think the leather ones do look better. So maybe if I can find some material on, I mean, I could probably go to the train hobby shop and see if they have some like very thin polystyrene, or something like that. Fuck, you could even just use cardboard if you're not worried about the ears getting wet. You can just take a piece of cardstock, just a thin piece of cardstock, just shape it inside the ear and stick it inside. Yeah, but you like to get wet with the ears. You like to sleep with them. You take a bath with them on. So yeah, it would have to be something that's going to be water, not damaged by the bath water. Exactly. Well, so it's been 3 hours. I have to go get the housework done. I hope you all have a good day. Yeah, guys, it is late. I'll see you guys.
3-hour show.
Have a great day,
A
Monica.
3-hour show.
It's
Well,
like a 3-hour tour.
Yeah.
On Gilligan's
3-hour show. Yep. Kind of like a 3-hour tour. Let's not be turned into castaways.
That's why I was saying it.
Yeah, who's the skipper? Who's the captain?
Oh, I'd probably be the captain. I don't know who Gilligan would be.
I'd be Gilligan.
Yeah, Bella can be Gilligan.
But let's just wrap it up with this part and say real quick. I'm not mad at Schmecklecat. I don't want him to be mad at me. Okay? I really hope he gets the impression that I'm trying to point out the truth. I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at Skynet. I'm not mad at any of the regular people here. But like I said, it's kind of, it's just, we need to find the right kind of mix that's going to encourage people that are maybe a lot of introverts to finally come on, like just Miss Jamie did today, to feel comfortable enough to come up onto the panel and say hello.
I've been up with Schmeckle on panel twice. He made me feel comfortable to come up. I'm only doing this because I've followed you for 5, 6, maybe 7 years now, and I've seen the progression and the things, but I also know that he's loyal to you. He's been here. Like, I know.
Yeah, I know he is. He was here for a long time. Absolutely.
Right. I mean, I know he's got your back.
I don't want people to go away mad. I don't want them to feel like I don't appreciate their loyalty, because I do.
Right. But I'm worried about the changing of your show. Like, I mean, that's what the beauty of the nighttime show was, to cut loose and have fun. And like the morning was like the morning coffee. And like, I mean, I'm shy as can be, and I came up there twice. You know what I mean? Like, I never do that. So, I mean,
don't forget, for you, it's probably scary to come onto a panel at all. I mean, just
right.
So for me to get a person to feel comfortable enough to come out of their shell, or out of the comfort zone is, I
But
think,
you
is
also
is a
stay with
positive
people.
is a positive thing.
But you also got to think people that are shy will put you on as they're cleaning house or they're, like doing yard work and wearing the headphones and they're listening, even though they're not talking or
Right,
saying
exactly.
anything.
Of course, they.
And they're enjoying that. Like they're laughing days later at things or some like a one-liner that you had said. I mean, I know you get frustrated and things get crazy and you turn off the phones for a while, and that you've always done that. Like the channel at night was built kind of on that, and I don't want you to alienate those people, but yet bring in
Charlotte
new
says
people.
hello, Bubba.
Yeah.
So Bubba is here in the panel, and Charlotte just came on.
Hi, Charlotte.
Well, that's I understand what you're saying, but at some point the trolls get heinously despicable. I just
You're always going to
Yeah.
have that. With Noodles coming over, like that's what brought. I mean, it is what it is. Like you can't
But you
really
don't-
change. I mean,
But if
That's kind of
that's the
the
kind of
dream.
thing that can get Michelle's channel in trouble
Right,
with
It's not.
YouTube, and that's what she doesn't want.
right.
her back catalog is up, and it's not. She's still monetized and got monetization with it up, and the N words flow. It's not something I agree with or use in my vocabulary, but all of this stuff is still monetized, and she got her monetization with this type of show going on for years at night as well. So there is that too.
I'm sure when YouTube reviewed me to be monetized, that's probably why it took them so long. Besides the COVID-19, was they were looking at all those live streams and going, "Does this person really advertise the
They do that to
material?"
everybody.
And I guess they looked at the show and said, "Yeah, she is." And I got monetized, but it took like from December until February to do it.
That's normal. Like I've heard people taking 6 to 8 months to get like makeup channels.
Yeah.
So YouTube system is glitchy. Like they delete subscribers like without realizing it, like a couple times a year, like purging them. I mean, you might have to go back in on videos and reapply for monetization, but you'll get that money. But like it's a whole thing. Like, but it's a
I think
learning
the
curve for
scariest
doing
thing that
anything.
could happen to a channel is that the channel itself can lose monetization, and then they go reapply, and then YouTube says, "You're kidding, right?" No.
That only happens for like Elvis Travels and people like that. Like that's not.
What exactly
show
does
is-
Elvis Travels really do? He
No,
travels.
he begs for money. That's his whole shtick.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
not only
all
that,
he does.
he picks
No,
up little kid. Like he got a little
Well,
kid.
no, but
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
what he made is, I'm talking about what he based his YouTube persona
Oh,
on
yeah.
was that he was this Assyrian king, and you had to pay him tribute.
Taxes, pay your taxes.
Yeah, and which is nothing but e-begging.
Right.
Right.
He made his whole shtick was pay your taxes, and I'm your Assyrian king, and yeah, that was his downfall.
That and taking advantage of people. Like he would use people to take advantage to get what he needed or feed him a sob story.
Oh, that definitely
Yeah, that was
is
the
that
beginning of the
definitely is
whole
a
beef
blatant
with Rosie.
violation of terms of service right there. I mean, I don't do that.
That was his whole beef with Rosie. I mean, she helped him out for 6
Right.
months.
Yeah. Went above and beyond.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. He's ungrateful. But the thing is, I know you need the monetization, and I know it's a new learning curve for you, and that, like, I don't think Schmeckle or nobody wants you to lose the monetization.
Right.
But you've got to realize that YouTube is a glitchy system anyway.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, that's
it's
just
not-
it. It's like just Miss Jamie said. It's glitchy. You know, they still can't even figure out when you're supposed to get your notifications out. I mean, I do agree that as far as notifications go, I agree that for most people, you don't need more than 3 notifications a day because you're not going to be I mean, but if you do a live stream like twice a day, like I do, then yeah, maybe you might need 2, unless the live stream bombs, and then you need a 3rd.
They should leave that up to the creator, like how many they want. Like, I mean, it should be in the people creating content's hands a bit more than.
Yeah, but the problem is some of them people will flood. Thank you very much, Bubba. Much appreciated. I'm just waiting for my little kitty logo to come up. He just donated 25. So
here's to monetization and for you being a partner.
Right. Oh yeah, by the way, this month it looks like we're gonna get another $150 to $200 check. So that makes me happy. And I could have gotten my hair done with that money alone right there.
Don't you have an appointment to get it back blonde anyway soon?
She canceled it.
I canceled the one for tomorrow because of the weather. I was supposed to have gone. On Thursday, which is today. I was supposed to have gone today.
Michigan got some snow.
So we got snow coming, and it's raining, and I don't to go out to go all the way up to get my hair done in the rain. So I canceled because the other real reason I canceled is the mattress was $871. So
but didn't you get that on finance?
I needed the mattress more than I needed to get my hair done. So
she did, but then she decided she didn't want to. She couldn't afford the monthly payment.
$75 a month is doable if it's just paying for the mattress and not paying $55 each month to do the hair on top of that.
If you have the means of paying it off early, by all means do pay it off early.
Remember, I got $1,000 in my savings, so yes, I've got the money to pay it off in full.
Then do it. That's
as soon as I get my credit card from Synchrony Bank, which is doing with the store credit card company, I'll just send them the full balance. Just cut a check and say, "Here, done."
Yeah.
And I'll just take a pair of scissors to the store credit card and be done with it.
I paid off my car early, and the reason I did that was because I knew I was retiring soon, and I didn't want to have that monthly payment. Coming out of my retirement funds.
Right, exactly. And the same thing with me was like, I originally was going to spend maybe no more than $300 on the mattress, and of course, with the delivery, pick up the disposal, and all that, I would only get a mattress that was like just springs, kind of like the one I originally had on the bed that they dragged to the recycling center. It was just all springs.
Sad when I seen how bad your old mattress was. Like, I was so sad and so happy that you got and that new one looks amazing. Like, it looks very well made and like a.
Oh yeah, it's also about $500 too.
But it's an investment and it's worth it, like for your health and like everything else.
Originally, I wasn't going to get a new box spring, but I said, why not? I'll get a box spring too. So what's another $116?
Right.
So yeah, so I got the new mattress, I got the new box spring, and it feels good. The cat's happy, I'm happy. So
as long as Rusty is happy, that's the most important thing.
Right. King Rusty.
The cat father's happy. Yeah, he's laying on the bed, And no, he hasn't scratched it yet, but I'm sure he will eventually. He scratches.
Oh yeah, I'll mark it.
He likes to scratch the garbage rug near the bed. Anyway, that's just scratching rug. So he likes to work his claws into that.
It's a man for you.
Yeah.
Well, as long as he hasn't marked it the other way.
So anyway, like I said, I put $1,000 of the stimulus into the savings, and then I transferred $500 back into the checking because I was saying, well, maybe I can pay them $500 this month. And Lemmy said, why don't you go ahead and just pay them $1,000 and be done with it? I said, well, I already just put $500 in my savings back into my checking. So at least even if I pay them the credit card company $500. It's still going to make a difference.
Having that, does it build your credit? Like, so if you pay it almost down to where you've got a few months on it and you could afford that to build up your credit, or is it one of those places that it doesn't? Do you know?
Well, it is a credit card, so it should help her credit.
So if you're
Yeah,
talking about
that's nice.
$891 bill, and you got 1 year to pay for it with no interest.
God, I always get so screwed up on what day of the week it is.
It is Thursday.
I know. I woke up this
I do,
morning
Metal
thinking it was
Kitty.
Friday. Jesus, I'm just a total veg.
What do you mean?
Oh, I just got a notification. I get updates from my local weather service, sends out YouTube updates, and they send them out on Monday and Thursday. And I got one, just came through. I got a notification, and I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, why are they sending out their weekly update on Friday? Then I had to stop and think for a minute. No, wait, this is Thursday. So I don't know. My brain doesn't work right on.
Don't worry about that. We all been there.
Yeah, but
I thought today was
every
Wednesday
week on Thursday. And I know yesterday was Wednesday. I know it was Wednesday, but today my brain says Friday. I don't know. I always like to skip Thursday and just go straight to the weekend.
Yeah. So you probably got weather probably told you tomorrow is going to be a wet, rainy day.
Yeah, we had our rain.
Northern Connecticut is going to see snow. We're going to see 8 to 12 inches of snow.
Are you sending snow my way? Because I've got tomato plants that I'll have to bring inside.
I would, because it looks like the cold front is coming from the Midwest over here. So you probably have to.
Yeah, but what part of Indiana? North, central, or south?
Central.
Yeah. I have a friend who lives over in Avon, and he's just had crazy weather.
Yeah.
Really? It got down to like 40 last night here.
Yeah, we're getting that the next couple of nights. We're getting 40s overnight.
Yeah, right. We're going to see temperatures in the mid-30s.
I haven't planted my tomato plants. I just have them in their pots outside waiting to go into the garden.
You might consider bringing them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking so too.
Yeah, I would. I would, because they're not at the point where they're going to be stocky enough to take.
Yeah, the rule of thumb down here is you never plant before Easter, but Easter was early this year, so we're due
around Memorial Day, but I started.
That's awfully late, though. See, and look, for here it is. Maybe not so much there. You're in a
southwest,
a little farther north,
southeast. Well, the thing, it depends if you go by the. Which of the two proposals? If you go by the Euro, it shows that we're going to get more snow in Connecticut and the northern area. If you go by the GFS, it shows it's even more likely we're going to be more consistent snow across the entire New England area.
The Euro tends to be a little more dire of a prediction, I've noticed, than the GFS. The GFS, at least in my area, tends to calm things down a little bit, whereas the Euro likes to blow things up.
Yeah. Yeah, they've noticed that on the map too. But still, snow at this time of late April, or it's not that late, but April.
Hey, Metal Kitty.
At this point, it's kind of unprecedented.
That's a wise decision.
Yeah.
Oh, in New Hampshire? Yeah, God, yes.
Because, if the weather was, now that the weather's good, it was like I wanted to get ready to get ready to do streams on the porch. Maybe next week we'll be on the porch, because first I got to figure out something about how to best set up the sound system for the laptop so that we can still do the panels and stuff on the laptop and hear them through the headphones, because we're not going to have our external mixing board on the porch. First of all, it's a real pain to unplug all those cords, and second of all, what the idea was to have a setup that could be portable, pretty much easy to carry, and not have to worry about lugging all those wires.
Sort of thing. Why couldn't you do a Bluetooth headset sort of thing?
I could.
That would be nice.
But the thing is that only partially solves part of the problem, and the other part of the problem is that OBS has to deal with the sound from the desktop apps, needs to go through to OBS to stream it out.
Yeah.
That's where the problem is. That's where there's a program called Audio Hijack, which is
but your microphone's going into your computer, isn't it?
My microphone is connected to my mixer. My mixer's connected to the line in. The sound from the computer is going to the line out jack that's going into the mixer.
A Bluetooth headset would end up just being a microphone device. You could select that as your microphone device. Yeah. Yes, you wouldn't have your mixer anymore, but you could have that. Your microphone could be coming in straight to the computer, not going through the mixer, but you could always adjust for that. I mean, there are ways to do this to where you could have your headphone and your microphone. Yeah,
there's a software-based mixer programs out there that will do it. You can select the volume for each of the different apps.
Absolutely.
And right now, the setup on the MacBook is going to be pretty much be all software based instead of hardware based, because the idea is I want to keep it simple, that I can just basically take one or two items, maybe like my headphones and my microphone, like the lapel microphone I'm wearing right now, which I'm tapping on my chest here, and just bring that out there and not have to worry about lugging out a mixer board, tons of cables and wires. I just want to keep it simple enough that everything can fit into one, get and go bag, Just take a green bag just to carry the laptop, the charger for the laptop. Maybe I'll take this camera with me out on the porch, even though it's got a built-in webcam, so that way I can use this on the porch, because I can put it far away enough from me that you can see me and not to see my forehead reading the chat on the screen.
That's very impressive, Miss Jamie.
Yeah.
I've never tried that. I've always gone up to the local garden store and bought my plants. I've never tried to do them from seed.
I plant a garden for so many people. Like, there's a lot of older people around me that used to garden that are so old and can't no more. So I always make sure, like, I'll have probably 80 to different kinds of tomato plants and different things. Wow. So they could come over and just pick it out and help themselves. And I get, I'll go out there and grab things too, but then the local wildlife will come get some. But I always make sure to do it for everybody else and what they want, and then I just start them at the beginning of the year and use some grow lights.
Right. So
you know what they call people like you, Miss Jamie? You know what they call people like you? They call you a great American.
Right.
Well, thank you. Like, I just figure it's nice. A lot of them will come over and
I'm sure a lot of them probably see you as an angel too, considering the fact is sure, maybe they're picking out the seeds, but then you're putting the seeds in the ground for them, and so they can see at least how their seeds are doing, and you're taking your time to do that.
Right.
I mean, so thoughtful.
Yeah,
and I plant enough of the outside animals, like the possums and the raccoons and the squirrels. I make sure that I'm an animal person. Like, I rescue wildlife.
I'm sure. I know my squirrels are very happy, and I know my. I guess the possums. I never see them because I'm sure they come around at night. But I feed the birds during the day. I have some various mixes I put out, and I'm sure that what the birds don't get during the day, the possums come around at night and clean up.
Yep, I'm sure they do.
Well, I can't say anything about the person that planted flowers in their yard. I don't know anything about this.
Metal Kitty, can you cover them?
Yeah, can you cover them? Or, let's just consider the possibility of a frost warning depending on where you are. I mean, if the temperatures go, below 40 or below 5 degrees Celsius, then you're at risk.
Also, another trick, but if it's going to freeze, to water them real well. Water them and then take a plastic or like an old sheet or a blanket and set it down and put like a cinder block or rocks to hold it down. But that water, I know it seems counterproductive, but that water protects the roots. So then when it warms back up, your roots are still healthy and it'll save the plant.
Yeah, the water absorbs the cold. And it protects the plant. That's exactly right.
That's right. Yeah, it does. It's an interesting thing about water people don't realize. So, Middle Kitty says not here. Up north of Will and west of me. Okay, where are you from, Middle Kitty? What part of the country?
I've seen a lot of people at Lowe's buying like flats of flowers, and I so want to be like, not yet, just hold off. But
yeah, the steward of spring has lost his mind. So
Yeah.
I think he got confused.
Well, at least it's not my fault. Don't blame me for
I
it.
know. Nobody's blaming you, Michelle.
Okay, I'm in the New Hampshire, Massachusetts border. Okay. Just north of Boston. Okay. Like Shirley, Massachusetts kind of area.
Surely you must be kidding.
Don't call me Shirley.
Well, Shirley is the name of a town in Massachusetts. It's right above Boston. Yeah, then the system, according to both the Euro and the GFS, is going to move slowly, quickly, actually very quickly into Maine, and then it's going to disperse and go off the coast. So I don't really know how much we're going to get. As I said, the predictions say anywhere from 6 to 8, 6 to 10. So I really don't know what it's going to be because I have a friend from Shirley, Massachusetts. Okay.
The only places in Mass I've been, Springfield, flew into Logan, and Worcester, Auburn area.
Yeah. Worcester, yep. Springfield. It's not that far from me, really.
No, Springfield's not.
Yeah, I hardly ever been to Boston. I know that Boston really worked really hard to improve the mass transit and the MBTA train system. They really.
I once had a package that took 7 days to get from Hartford to Springfield. It's 25 miles.
Really?
It was nuts.
Wow. All right. Well, Michelle, I'm going to jump off.
Yeah, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. But I want to say thank you guys for coming. We'll see you tonight at the 7 o'clock show. And like I said, I'm going to try to install that.
Miss Jamie, great meeting you.
Yeah. It was nice chatting, Bubba.
All right, guys. Just make sure you think of being on the show. I hope to see you tonight on the Tonight Show.
Bye, Michelle.
What?
I said bye. I hope you have a great day.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Good. See you tonight. Bye-bye. And, of course, we're just getting ready to wrap it up. We had a good show this morning. So, like I said, I'm not mad at Schmecklecat or nothing. I hope he comes on again on the panel. So yes, I do hope he will be on. So for now, we had almost 10, 12 people today, so this wasn't bad for a morning show at all. Don't forget to subscribe and do share the video with your friends and family and maybe other people that might have similar interests as we do in the morning show and the night show, and we can try to see if we can continue to grow and expand. But for now, I'll see you tonight around 7 o'clock. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.